go to clinch. An NRG win with any score would put 100 Thieves and crew through to playoffs and would eliminate Sen and EG. So from NRG's perspective, tons to play for and a must-win game for Evil Geniuses.
We'll see how this one begins. With Crash, he's going to send drone forward, setting up Demon 1 into that nice forward approach. This is comfortable ground for him, really. Loves to be put into these forward positions where he can really take advantage.
Yeah, one of the ways in which EG themselves used Demon 1 on the attack side of this map was inserting him deep into spots like this, over towards Market, and then running a B exec where he dashed over to switch. Oh, and Jordan, he's read it and shut down his counterpart.
As soon as the alarm bot was broken, still looks like NRG don't want to slow down this hit, but still anchoring players to deal with. Apoth blind as a bat, and Derek dealt with towards the back. So an open plant now for them. NRG being able to get themselves into that post plant, but they've already lost control of the front section of the site. This is a fast re-clear, but Jorgamo, nature right behind him, not too much util, but he spots out the shoulder, a couple of stray shots, not really doing the job.
It's actually the paranoia on Marved I'm looking at.
He's still holding it. As soon as they collect that contact, and he's going to send it flying, so it pushes them back for but a moment. Enough damage done, softening up all the targets. NRG walking away with a nice and easy one there, despite losing Demon 1 in mid.
And then that showcases how NRG are still going to be able to win some of these rounds, even if a piece of the puzzle goes wrong. That was essentially the exact same strat they were going to run anyway. They just ran it without the jet. All four of the players spilling out through main, and Ethan doing a great job at holding down lane there in the post. So they get 2 rifles, 2 bulldogs online here early. And I am going to be paying serious attention to NRG's macro calling, because I think that was what let them down the most in the game against Leviathan. And we've seen EG before cook up some really interesting strats. And antis.
Yep, counter strat. Anti-plays here. I mean, the drone getting the tag, but a spam damage, no kill to be claimed on Superman. But yeah, close attention paid, I think, to NRG. How to play in this one. Ethan, of course, you know, he's a very experienced player, but quite new to the IGL role when he stepped up onto this stage. And maybe that's where we're seeing evidence of those gaps.
And I actually think NRG have looked really good on defense rounds on a lot of their maps. But it's the attack side calling where I think there is a little bit of an experience differential right now.
Slow and steady for NRG, though. They don't want to run themselves into any stack of players. Got a lot of acknowledgement of EG just loitering around the A site. 50 seconds onto the mark into this round. You've got to start making decisions soon.
And EG do seem to be guessing the correct site here. This is another situation where the clock starts to run down and NRG are grouped up, heading into the stronger site, but it's only classics on the other side. How bad can it really get?
There really shouldn't be much danger.
3 players spotted with that knife, but there's only 30 seconds in NRG. They can't really pivot.
And Jorgamo pre-aiming for the dart position here. A couple of shots now fired into the smoke. They realize.
Why am I already worried?
Yeah, I mean, this one stacking all the players dash forwards into the smoke and dominating the position. Steeman 1 who's just going to be leading the charge for his team. They are lit up. Util is nice for him, but Jorgamo now stuck into this dice position. Time, 12 seconds. Got to deal with these players. Got to get the spike down or just kill them all. Why not?
Gun here.
And a very nice pause there. Stopping the scaling on on A, so that they could just hold angles and punish the EG players that were looking to try to play off Jorgamo. And I like that. There was a pause there in the middle of the exec to allow a little more control into things. So even though Ethan knew they were running into 3 players on A, and even though they decided to commit to that, they had that little pump of the brakes in the round that allowed them to escape fairly unscathed. Not overstressing the economy, and NRG all bunched up towards B to start.
Ethan 2 away as well from his ult with the no command. I'll be looking to grab the orb. Easily accessible. Flash. The dash, it's all going to be combined up to push these players away, along with that dart that's not actually taken care of, but Demon 1 will just go down to the spam. Isolated, I believe, from a bit of that util at the choke, and his team wasn't following up. Jorgamo still here. Trying to find that value with the dash active. Of course, he is suppressed, so unable to use too much in terms of the wave abilities.
The NRG game against Leviathan. People were looking at Demon 1's stats at the end. He went 2 and 15 in first kills to first deaths, and they're like, Demon 1, he's tragic on the entries. Entries like this have been Demon 1's reality recently, where he goes in, and he's just getting annihilated inside his own cloud bursts. It's unfortunate, and it's set NRG up in another 4v5.
Definitely going to see that. Duelist players having poor performances if the setup isn't quite there. Victor.
Good awareness from Apoth. Victor dodged the recon, and Apoth still clears it.
Walkabouts all over the place here. Ethan seeking advantages. Pop flash underhanded.
One enemy remaining.
And that will seal it up. So the bonus round, not too much damage really being done by NRG here. EG put their one onto the board.
And we actually saw Apoth there push all the way out of B main. Re-clearing that space as soon as he got the pick onto Victor, realizing that Victor would not be playing with all the rest of the squad. Yeah, I mean, what is that? The punish there, the first death onto Demon 1. And then Apoth swings around, pushes tiles to kill Crashies and Marved. Nasty stuff. Was there much damage done? Not really on an economical side, but it did get up this null command. And so, we're going to see any kind of anti-KOL setup?
Apoth is...
he's pretty committed to B.
Yeah, he's very committed over towards B, so they did choose to go for a fast play. Could have been in trouble, but it's slow and steady again. Same play that we saw towards the pistol round, just a drone going to be committed deep into mid. Last time they set up Demon 1, he's not there this time.
And look at this. This is 2 rounds in a row now that Derek has sent a recon dart from lane on B over to Cat for a mid player to play off. It's a cool idea, but he's used it twice now, and NRG is starting to get the idea of where it's coming from and what its purpose is. Walking down Cat now.
Nano Swarm sent flying here for Superman as well to take up that space into main. Didn't actually clear this alarm bot. Not a little matter with the amount of players up forwards. It will get broken at the end of the day, but it's a player disadvantage that NRG are staring at. And I have to offset that.
With Marv's death in A main, I think the read here is fairly obvious that they're going into a B split.
This flash is supportive util. I want to play off of it. A couple of sound cues being made as a high-low setup. NRG. One kill claimed.
30 seconds left.
Dart rebounds just as the ult is sent flying, dashing forwards into the smoke as well revealed. All to be seen. Apoth. Oh, you're going to clean up so much more. This guy just on fire right now. Again, that supportive util, and their movement is just excellency.
Is this the best? My ultimate is ready.
We were asking who's going to step up for EG. The desk was saying it as well. Are they white hot? Do they have the fraggers? It was Apoth and Jorgamo who went absolutely bonkers in the game against Sentinels. And Apoth is starting out this map looking like he's in the exact same form and having the exact same confidence to go for these plays.
Copy again, baby! Come on now!
I love the fact that he's got that. But also Marv dying over in A main, it just ruins things for NRG. No smokes to go for a B split. That is so difficult. You're open to the angle deep mid, you're open to the spawn angle as well once you commit to sight. And this map, it does trend defense-sided. NRG are going to be looking to get into good positions to put the occasional round on the board, not dominate the half.
Could be damage here from the Shockies. Demon 1 knocked down. You're right, it's going to take some real miracle moments, I think, from the NRG players, just with the Sheriffs in hands. Marved postured his way into A main there, so he's been holding on to control of this since the beginning of the round, pretty much. Now he's going to set course for the rest of his team to join him.
And I quite like the fact that Marv hasn't been conditioned to fear A main after he just got run down in the previous round. He's going to need that space on the map. And whether that comes with a teammate helping him out or just taking it on his own.
Superman and Nature going to be feeling the heat. Forwards with the flash.
What a commitment.
And a peek is a hard commitment. EG just sending all the bodies flying just from that one flash. Full confidence as well to disrupt that NRG play.
Victor's finding a nice timing, but in a 5v2,
left.
there shouldn't really be
Last
anything
player standing.
that he can do there. Although that will give him some little piece of information that maybe they can play with in future rounds. We've seen teams cook up attack side XX on A where you make it feel like everybody's coming from A main and then lurk a player through, whether that be Demon 1 or Victor, through Catwalk. But EG get up to 3.
And this is an EG squad that are just, I mean, feeling empowered, I think, off the back of the Sentinels win. Even in that game, they said it, you know, win or lose, we didn't care at the time, which I find especially funny. But I think it removes a certain level of pressure from EG's shoulders when all the expectations are placed onto your opponents, especially NRG, where they're the ones who have something to prove, and unfortunately couldn't avoid it.
The technical pause. Well, let's talk Ascent a little bit, because the map pool for this match We've seen some dodginess from NRG, sometimes in the macro.
Yeah.
We haven't actually seen Lotus, I should correct myself, from NRG all year. With this roster, they just haven't played it. So it's really difficult to know what to expect. But we're back into this, and it's a round where NRG have a decent chance to win, especially with that Blade Storm on Demon 1.
Some interesting conditioning there. I mean, EG, they send flying a flash and a dart, but no follow-up after it. Normally, you'd be seeing like an updraft dash into that smoke.
I guarantee they're going to follow it up in one of these rounds, like a TP into the one-way or something like that to capitalize. They're just trying to condition NRG that it's all safe. Don't worry about the recon.
But it's getting real dangerous here. It might even be a little bit scrappy. Too much to overcome. There was no exit strategy in the back of his mind. Superman is going to let loose the one smoke. The nade follow through. Updraft with the knives. No one really ready for it. Nature, though, will respond. Following through, all with the spray. Only claiming 2.
The rest of NRG should have been able to get the trade kill there onto Nature early on. And now Apop with the ultimate. And Ethan is so perilously weak. Do you even commit the Hunter's Fury? They are going to.
Yeah, they're going to. They want to see if they can win this one round, and everyone does count at the end of the day here in Ascember to leave it just out of crashes. Shot dart cleared away. Maybe you can get onto the angle, but it's already being stuck all the way here by Apop. And the dodging and the juking. EG not leaving any easy fights open here for NRG. They're leading the charge 4-2 so far in the map.
Same game plan working for EG. Fight aggressively on the outsides of the map, the extremities. We've seen Marv die in A main. We've seen Victor get bullied here in B main as well. And then when Demon 1 gets the entry, why is there no immediate follow-up? It was already after the fragment grenade was popped. You clearly know the timing that Demon 1's going to go for that. But they couldn't really cleanly get through Nature holding down that choke point. And a timeout being called here for map. 1-5, 1-4, just kind of getting bullied right now.
Fall to pieces. NRG might be looking to call a faster hit, though, into this site. Definitely setting up for it. I mean, this is going to be Nanoswarm that I think lands into logs. The deep knife doesn't get broken, I believe, in time here. So it has going to be stunt this push.
They weren't banking on that, I don't think. Normally, Nature's going to be positioned over towards A, throwing that knife for the A main hit. You know, that's the most standard way that most teams are playing it. So the fact it's exactly there to stop that B main push is perfect adaptation for EG.
Even a little flash reclear. Apop Telly wants to go for something like this one. They already know there's a player tucked into the bottom section of mid. That's Demon 1 right there. It's a double face. I'm just trying to take this one without any util to give away the timings, but 1-for-1. Apop cuts it up close now to the corner. There is danger in this round, but maybe Derek can
Spike down,
earn his merit in this moment, standing down his ground with the Nanoswarms to cut up some of the angles. NRG getting a move on now. Flood him into the site. Derek, though, he's got that stalwart position out towards the back, and he's the last bastion of defense. The only necessary one, really, for EG here.
So after NRG's game plan of the fast B main hit gets stopped instantly by that 0 point from Nature, now, after the timeout from Chet, what did they cook up for this rifle round? They've got to start getting some attack rounds on the board. It's a defense-sided map, and it's NRG's pick. They're going to feel confident on defense, but you want a buffer. You need the buffer.
Yeah.
We saw that with Sentinels when they're playing on Lotus. Doesn't matter how good you are on one side of the map, you still need to make sure you're putting up at least some rounds on your unfavored half.
There's a play. Flash with the dart.
I like this from EG. They're trying to be disruptive against what NRG would have called
this
after the
proactivity.
timeout.
Exactly. Taking matters into their own hands. It's something that they did really well, actually, against Loud in kickoff. Making sure that they throw a lot of those plays into it, slow down the round to the attacking team, add in that hesitancy.
This is the same pressure that Victor was facing a couple rounds ago, where it's Jorg and Apop fighting him for all of that space. But he's not really calling for assistance. They're just ceding B main control to the defense.
They're just spotting the one. ADS crouched up. Angles on lockdown here, but Demon 1, looking like you might want to take the face into it. This one-way smoke was very well timed. Almost just immediately sensing that pressure, possibly off Derek getting smoked off from the angle.
And look at that.
Past it.
Derek was only going to commit the recon dart there if the knife had seen something. Nature calls, it's all clear. So the recon dart is saved for later on. There's 35 seconds here. Where are NRG going?
There's just no options. NRG haven't created any space, they haven't got any space onto the map this entire time.
left.
Not even the alarm bot being removed. And so they're going to have to go for a bit of a mad dash now and scramble into these players. Doubled up, Superman alongside it. Derek, he's going to provide that cover and fire. Just a hail of lead that's going to be raining down onto them, but NRG do get access eventually to the site. Barely with any time left. Hunter's Fury. One connection follow through. Can't quite claim the second kill, but they all line up. Derek to masterpiece in motion. And now surely set up for the EG win onto the retake. Marved, Iceman stands his ground, repositioned down into hell, but it's just being assailed from the position. Victor from the side, cleaned up with the trade. EG, they're in complete control.
And while it looks excellent from EG, I'm left asking the same questions I was when we saw NRG on their attack sides in their last 2 matches. What on earth are they doing with the first minute of the round? They're not forcing out defensive utility. They didn't even force out that recon that I was talking about because the knife had already detected there was no one there. They still had so many other pieces of utility left for the defenders because they're not quick at taking map control at the beginning. That alarm bot stayed up the entire time. They didn't pressure Cat heavily enough. They're not taking B main control.
They're not, no. And the decision making, like I said, that hesitant. But they have an idea of what they want to do. They want to take mid control, sure, but when EG throw in these little mixture plays that are going to punish them, either on the extremities or in mid, here we go, it's fast though. Onto the half by that is a bit of a beef by Marv. I think he's trying to TP into his own smoke. Jorgamo ripping him to shreds right now with the outlaw buy. Heads up, knowing that the economy is going to be weak. Team in 1 though, surely not, no! Taken out, Bladestorm, refreshed but not even necessary.
Jorg is absolutely slapping down the entirety of NRG, but the 2 players that he played with last year and won a championship with.
Done here.
He's just dunking on him.
That's just, I mean, so heads up by Jorg again.
Yeah.
I say so heads up. He holds tab and sees the money situation and buys the outlaw.
Yeah.
But I love it because it just shows those extra elements are being taken into account by EG with their game plans.
Absolutely. So we come in again, and NRG, they have ults to work with. We need to see the game plan online, but it's that Odin in B main denying a little bit of space. And then the operator, too, from Jorgamo in mid.
One suppressed.
All right, this is earlier, more aggressive takes of A main. They've also got some idea that they're not fighting as aggressively over B main this round. The defensive setup has shifted, and it's afforded NRG a little more space on the outsides of the map. But they've now got to figure out, in what way has it shifted? Where is the threat now then?
And he might just go for a B hit here with the null command. Ethan's got it. The thing is, Apoff is, I mean, he's tucked into this one and done position at Pizza, but I don't know if he's going to be out of range. He might be.
He's at least going to be able to pop the nanoswarms in time here, I think. I mean, there's one.
Yeah, just one from the drone in case they follow through with it. Locked down. Anything to remove this. Slight spacing and a gap in towards the back of the side, but Derek is not going to be playing towards it. He's going to be backing away. Nanoswarm will land, clearing through with a util.
Demon 1 is so much further forwards. He knows that the site is free because of the lockdown, but that's allowed NRG to keep 2 players completely off site for the post ban. It does look like a nice setup.
Victor, this guy's heard all the sound cues he needs to know right now to really do some serious damage. Hunter's Fury delaying crashes, just trying to buy time for that win con that is Victor right from behind with the backstab now. It's been watched for! What is that awareness? EG! They're tearing NRG to pieces. Picking up the weapons. I mean, 1 player backside. What can you really do? Crashes, got to overcome a mountain of obstacles.
And they've got plenty of time here to close this one out. That looked like such a lovely post-plant setup there for NRG. They had a player B main, a player on the post-plant flank, 3 players on site ready to hold things back, and EG single-mindedly focused forwards. They've now won every single round since the pistol and the follow-up. And look at that. I mean, the read on where Victor's coming from is just, it feels almost too easy. The timing of it, it's not quite working.
Nice! Let's go, boys! On the retake.
Too simple for EG right now. And NRG take their second timeout. This is their map pick.
So far, those questions, I mean, we're getting answers, but it might not be the answers you want if you're an NRG fan.
I do like the idea that NRG are using more utility early round to take map control, because I think it's also going to force util out of EG, or they're just going to lose space. But I don't think
have to
full commit.
We're just sticking the full hold here. There's no util to set this one up. They don't know where these players are. Jorgamo's making a mockery of the situation right now, and it's all combined. The crossfire setup, any sort of fast play, thrown out the window.
It's like there's no
Last
variation
round
in
in the
tempo
half.
apart from very slow or a rush
Yeah.
for EG. And I think, sorry, for NRG. And I think that's got to be something that they look to work on. Make the playoffs or no. Because their attack side calling, it's like either they are full sending it or they're so slow in the first minute that they're not really achieving their wider goals to set them up for success.
Yeah.
The buy is terrible heading into round 12.
I mean, Jorgamo again, he knows it. He's picked up the Outlaw, just particularly for this purchase. I mean, he has enough money to buy the Operator. He's probably got it sitting nearby. I mean, he had it in the prior round.
It's only Ethan with full armor.
Yeah. We're looking to put it to work. Flash over the top. Nanoswarm's dropped. NRG again, they're trying to get a move on here. Fast this util. It's all overwhelming here. But Demon 1, he was blinded up himself. He was supportive util or not. Again, I mean, it just... When you only have one direction, one speed you want to go into, of course EG are going to dismantle you.
This is
Switching
a
sides.
nightmare for NRG on their map pick, but EG looking awesome. Every strat that NRG threw at them, they easily dismantled. There really was not a problem whatsoever.
And NRG only winning the pistol and the follow-up, losing every other round after it.
These hits are so one-dimensional.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
They didn't. I don't think they tried an A-split once or some kind of disguised play. They still had stuff that they really needed to work on. And here, I mean, Potter and Jorg are just annihilating the opposite side of that former EG core.
Yeah, the former teammates they know incredibly well. Earned a championship title with them. EG here with the pistol round. Like you said, we haven't really going to get the chance to see much of NRG's defensive sides. They haven't really earned themselves enough.
Already, EG look like they're set up for a really nice play here, where it feels like a lot of it's...
And the first kill going away of Apoth in mid.
Apoth's just been on fire recently.
They've gone forwards here. Apoth is eventually going to get cleaned up. Smokes drop down here. Superman's worried about the re-flank.
Yeah, this pistol round, though, it was supposed to feel like an A-split, but a lot of the players going through A main, and then Superman just stays for the backstab.
Superman hears the reload, he hears the door being broken. Out wide are all these players, missing a few shots. But Jorgamo is cleaning up the necessary elements, making sure that he's still active into this fight. And what a call by EG. I mean, dominating the smoke, taking up that position, overpowering the tree fight, just as NRG are flooding through. They have to worry about multiple directions, and they are overcoming the odds.
NRG, they held strong, won their gunfights, and stopped Evil Geniuses from running away with this one. A desperate pistol round win there, when I think EG actually played the better idea of how they wanted to. But listen, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's a gun game.
It is a gun game. You get shot, you die.
Yeah, and NRG held on there. Those players flooding from heaven to generator, winning those fights. You can see how confident Apoth is getting that first kill, and the right click's just working perfectly for Ethan.
Yeah, blessed towards the end of a bit of that NRG.
What? Nice try. Classic just failed you so hard. Where'd my balls go, bro?
Even there in disbelief. I mean, it did take a bit of the luck to swing things in the favor.
But that's pistol rounds, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
That's how they go sometimes. NRG using that classic setup. We actually saw EG running this exact same kind of bait and switch with their players over towards A. Demon 1 though opting for the Guardian rather than the Outlaw.
Knife dodged. EG, obviously on their eco round here, will just look to do some damage.
But
Get
again,
the orbs if they can.
EG are making it feel like there's a lot of pressure in B main while they timing the knife and take A main control. Like, it just, the ideas make more sense from EG on the attack side, even though they're running with pistols here.
Well, here's one of the easier tests. Hold back the push for the site. Everybody will fall here from EG. They'll be looking to get a plant down at least.
Enemy
A bit of
remaining.
extra money to work with.
Spike
Which
planted.
Nature, okay, completed his goal. He can go down with a ship.
And a good cleanup. Easy stuff, no drama, all weapons kept for NRG. There is a serious chance that NRG can make this much, much closer than it looks. But can they actually pull it all the way back? That's where I'm doubting a little bit, just because of how dominant that first half was. Not a single round out of the pistol and follow-up. One for them on the attack side.
Yeah.
It's going to be one hell of a climb back.
But these are players with mountains of experience. I'm sure they've been into these spots before. Many a time, they know that it's possible. Got to put it together one round at a time.
A round like this would be a huge one. And it looks like they're going to try to set something up. Is this a flash peek for Demon One to try to get aggressive with some spam perhaps from Crashies?
And Crashies will support it, won't it? Fire down the bullets, open up the line of sight angle. And one back off of it, so rebound flash. Deep dart. Bouncing back, and it's a cool angle. Trying to hit the wallbang there into the players and tiles. Jogamo getting dropped down to 5 HP. He's forwards though. This guy, relentless. It's not shying away from any sort of aggression. In fact, dashing all the way forwards. He's cut this up. Ethan, it's a miracle that he even got the two. Crashies is in the middle of nowhere, out wide. And so he will fall, toppled. Nature though, aiming for the gun and just ends up falling for it and paying for it.
Kind of a sick round from both teams, actually.
Yeah.
NRG do a great job of coming away with the win, though. Ethan Crashies providing that solid backbone for the rest of the team. But EG had a recon dart onto Demon One, who was fighting, and then wallbanged through B main. Sick idea. But they just couldn't quite get through here. Ethan being able to pick up 2 of the Spectre is massive. And that's the round they need to start a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Ascent is very defense-sided. Usually teams, though, have still got Crashies and Ethan both running Odins. And it was actually EG the only time we've seen them play Ascent this year, who were running double Odin strats against Loud as part of a serious anti-strat they were going for.
Let's see what usage these ones get. Demon One. Zern took that operator. Starting to pluck apart the targets across the map here for EG. They use a bit of that util. Shock darts flying forwards and a lot of damage done. Look at that. It's Derek trying to aim to take him out of the drone.
Yeah.
The counterpart, at least, with a shock dart.
Not
Doesn't work.
quite
It's
finding
cheeky.
it there. The fact that Demon One, though, has this up online, that's the kind of momentum changer, or rather momentum accelerator, I suppose you could say, that NRG are going to be looking for to close this 5-round lead that EG have. Once you have the op online, you can leave certain angles to Demon One and just kind of post him up around the map. I feel really confident he's going to be able to hold them.
Would you go for the cut noise re-hits forwards? Jogamo is going to be really isolated away from the rest of his team. Updraft's over the available angle. Ethan spraying it through. Crashies as well. Just evading capture in the sideline. All with the wraparound. So, again, NRG, they just get over that easy round. Of course, it was a weaker buy of EG.
Victor got caught a little bit. So if EG run the same strategy with rifles online, Victor will have to adjust his positioning. He got caught by a fragment grenade and then a recon dart that came in over the top. Set up Jorg for the entry.
Yeah.
But okay, Potter took a timeout to try to get this round coming up over the line. So what is she cooking?
Nature's got the ult. Plenty of chances and opportunities. Knife cross map by Ethan. Landed somewhere. Demon One though lit up. Barely able to get out of there. I mean, taking a bit of damage in the process.
Both Demon One and Victor taking risks at the start of the round. Victor threw an aggressive nanoswarm, so they know the Killjoy's B.
Demon One could get a bit more aggression now onto this angle. He still has a dash! What's going on there? How are these kills being found? Jogamo! Oh my! This guy's forwards now with the pace that he's taking this at. He's forcing out the ultimate to NRG, looking to really just salvage this operation. But they all go wide with the Hunter's Fury shots. It's a free plant for Derek.
This is the round that EG were looking for, to try to creep things closer to that mark of 13. They've got a massive player advantage.
I'm sure what the read potentially was here for him. Victor, he's so worried about a backstab occurring just from mid. He knows that Apop is going to be lurking around that position. Door finally broke him. But a smoke already propped up. Crashies.
Placing sentry. Destroyed.
Just praying away there with a spray. But yeah, this is... Got to call it quits. Wrap it up here. So EG finding themselves up to that 11th round.
I want to take a look at the replay of this round as well. They're going to try to deny the operator. We'll see whether Crashies and Victor can hold on to it. But I think it was the up barrel that might have been peeking around the corner there that led to those ridiculous openings by Jorgamo. Can he survive? Can Victor keep
needs
this?
it. Needs to hold on to it.
He's got it.
Yeah, barely.
But yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that Demon One's kind of reluctance to give up the angle over towards Cat, and in fact is kind of inching forwards. Has he seen anything?
Spot. What did
no,
he see?
It's
No,
just a
it's
prediction.
just a prediction.
Oh, what a read! What a read with the Guardian
prediction.
as well. What a great usage of a non-standard weapon in that spot.
Shut them down.
Very cool ideas.
One suppressed.
Just 2 more rounds needed for EG. Wrap up this first map. NRG, though, still with plenty of money in the bank. They can put up a bit of a fight for quite some time.
But look at the way that they're giving EG control of B main and A main. Yeah, the drone is coming through now, but there isn't really any pressure behind it. Demon One's on a really passive angle, all the way towards back heaven. Compared to the way that NRG were taking map control and the way that EG were fighting for it, this is much more passive.
Not intended. He's trying to break the alarm bot.
He's trying to break the alarm bot that's behind him, yeah.
Taken out of the drone, though, with that damage done from the shocky. Dart, flash, reclear, beautifully called. NRG. It'll mix things up like that, and it does disrupt this process by EG.
Standing ahead.
Looks like you want to go fast, though. Injection of that pace. Hunter's Fury trying to clear the way into the back of the site, but there's too many angles to really account for here. And EG aren't going to be able to get too much done. In fact, Jorgamo wants to take it in a far more different direction. Can hit the transfer. Demon One. Nasty reactions, even getting his ally back up onto his feet. Flanking attempt up and around Superman as he brought them an opening. He cracked open his side of the map, but already calling for the pivot.
Yeah, it was a great call by Superman. They cancelled that B hit really early on. And with him being able to find the pick, there is just enough time to pivot to the egg site and still have this in a decent chance for EG to win.
Superman needs more, though. Needs way more than that! What's going on there? How the hell is he getting away with it? And they're just flooding the defenses. Any sense of a retake?
Were they trying to sync up some kind of updraft double swing? That was so poorly coordinated from NRG on the fly. What a fumble!
Yeah.
They've let
It's a
this one
huge
slide so far out of their hands. Almost impossible for Crashies to recover this. And while the economy is going to be good, this is going to put EG up on map point when it was NRG's pick.
It comes back to that question that we were asking, you know, how many rounds you really need. Even though the map is defense-sided.
Need more than
we
two.
were throwing up, you know, saying that NRG, they don't have enough, really, arguably. And you can see why now with EG up to that 12th round. One more will do it. Across the threshold.
Match point.
That's such a sick lurk by Superman, though.
It is, yeah.
He gets his way all deep into tree and insta calls that cancel of the B push. Oh, where EG were not having too much success with it. Great kill onto Marv. And then what?
No way!
That's an amazing pre-fire shot onto Demon One. But it was badly coordinated from NRG in general, though. Demon One had gone for an updraft as Ethan swung, so that's why he was so much later and gave Superman the time to reset his aim.
Get out of my way.
It's got to be stopped right here and now in the tracks. If you're NRG, smoke. Covering his teammates. That's away from the dart.
Bait and switch setup.
Yeah,
Trying to make it seem like the Opera has retreated when in fact you've inserted the Killjoy in that spot.
He missed the drone? I believe it, a shot didn't clear him though. Didn't clear him into the corner. So Victor does get the volley that was intended for him. He's going to be pushed back and away. Ethan also feeling the heat. It's been turned up. Wild now display. Jorgamo with the bucket in his hand. He's even touched the flash. APM off the bloody charts from this guy. And now wants to pave the way. Committing one of the blades. We're moving away from that dart. Nades flying through and forwards. This is a site that's going to be gained now for them. And we're already getting that plant down. Demon One. Take matters into your own hands here. A chance to really wrangle back Fate and Control. Crashies with the firing line. Making sure that nobody can really take it. Adjustment. Round 3! Jorgamo! Goodness me, man! What is that finish?
Once before, 4 evil geniuses on plenty of maps where they won that championship trophy. But Marved on the Cypher as well. I guess that empowers his lurks. This is going to be a weird one.
It is a strange one, man. And honestly, as well, I think half my brain power are going to be committed to just working out what this comp can do differently to what we've been seeing all season long from Lotus gameplay. More standard stuff that EG are running. Of course, you can see that Snakebite is forced out nice and early here by nature. In fact, it doesn't really have anything else towards it. All the util really expended. A slight angle. Watched for Superman.
And Marved is very committed. It's these kind of positions that you can really punish when a lurker gets into spots like this.
Here.
Doing that silent jump just to make sure that nobody's close there to the breakable door.
Opened wide though. Flash over the top. Smoke's laid down in a pretty rapid fashion though. Along with the paranoia, it's going to be buying time for the reinforcements to arrive. Boombot broken just in time. Another flash as well. Good connection, but a blind fire. Who will be winning the day out? Looks like NRG for now. Nade rebounding.
Beautiful.
Nature out wide. It's very good in terms of the util. And it's found them disadvantaged position in a 1v3 for Apov. Victor's got his back towards him. But surely the angles are covered.
Left.
Apov, no one wants to peek for it. Wants to make a go of it still. It's NRG with a pistol round win.
And Victor finding 3. Opening things up on Raze. Cleaning up as EG went for that re-clear towards Rubble as well. Victor does have a good Raze on him. But I've been a little bit disappointed by the community uproar around the like Demon One Victor narrative, because I think you do need to give Demon One his reps on Raze early on in the year for him to feel comfortable. You can't just run Victor Raze every single map, I don't think. It limits their pool a little, but this is a great opportunity to see what some of their map pool might look like if they did go in that direction.
Yeah, certainly.
Are the fans justified in terms of wanting this kind of swap? Because that's much more similar to how Evil Geniuses used Demon One last year, was allowing Jorg to just play the Raze on these kind of maps, and Jorg is a menace.
Oh, nature close to the angle. It's all watched.
So another thing to note here as well, Bren, is because we haven't seen NRG play Lotus at all this year, we don't know how long they've been practicing with this comp.
Yeah.
We don't know whether EG have seen it in scrims. They might have played against each other, you know, earlier on, you know, kickoff time, and have some idea that NRG were going to bring this out or what kind of things they're going for. Whereas we're just kind of running blind in.
They're just reacting to it early at this point.
Or thinking about how teams like Na'Vi have used similar kind of comps in the past.
Yeah.
They've got decent synergy between stuff. Like the Breach is really good at being able to control the Rubble line. And then you've got these Flash Dizzy combos that should be pretty potent too.
Yeah, and even Victor just being sent forwards. Make sure he collects up all these kills as well as that. He's already earned up his showstopper. As good as a beginning as you can really hope for right now for NRG.
Absolutely. Yeah, loading the ults into the right people. And Victor with a 3K, then a 4K, powering up the showstopper that they can use here to win a bonus, potentially. EG, a lot of pressure is going to put on them really early on to avoid a snowball from happening. It is tough to stop a showstopper on the attack side.
Yeah. It's half the battle, really, and Lotus is just trying to mitigate, you know, just the attack side getting away with things.
I think
now fashion with a bit of a snowball.
One of the things I'm looking at is this setup over towards C and seeing if we can get one of those high trips, but instead Apot's gone with a much deeper trip on site and one for info on B.
Oh, hearing all that presence, no way you're just letting this loose so damn early. Tree blinded with the paranoia still. Rocket will get the job done. Messy finish there out towards Tree. Jorgamo is feeling that heat, has to let loose now with the boombot. It's led him directly into the target. Necessary kill with Mark falling. Satchel evading all the sides, even farming up the orb in time. He's got his back online. Ult now available, and with the door switch, they hit this one and they want to go into a rapid approach once more. Ethan, only the one but one to stand. It's Demon One. 1v3. You'd have to be precise and snappy with a lot of these shots. Haunt, one more layer to really overcome, and he can't quite land it. Tapping away with the Guardian. At the end of the day, well navigated by EG, I will say.
Yeah, great work. The fact that Jorg is able to go pound for pound with Victor to get a showstopper of his own online. They crack open the hit. Love this re-clear of Marv's position too. But then Jorg is able to just fly in with his own ultimate and make sure that they don't drop that bonus round. They did damage the EG economy, So NRG have still set themselves up with a slight advantage heading in here, but it's nowhere near the cascading avalanche that it could be. So pressure is put back on NRG to try to work the map properly without massive ultimates to rely on.
Looks like this is going to be a pretty steady game plan for them, which is just Mark taking liberties from B site.
Oh, that is a fast way of taking mound control.
Yeah, real rapid, isn't it?
I am very interested to see if EG fight over that, how that clash would go.
Door switched opens, making sure that they can clear out B again with the cam.
Yeah, they still haven't cleared this cam. That's over towards mound. It'll just give EG such great late round info as to whether NRG are really poised for a C push.
They're recording on for the C's as well. Combos up with a nade nicely in case they overstep themselves. Paranoia, or at least the Prowler, I should say. Let's get that connection. Demon 1 tagged up as well, finally, by that cam that we were talking about. I know these trips been broken, Josh, when we're approaching about 40 seconds into the round.
Yeah, this is getting late round.
It's difficult.
Know that this commitment's got to come.
They didn't dizzy though. Surely this clears the backside play. Apop's got a cage to play into it as well. Lit up Victor, going for another swing of things. You realize he wasn't really getting out of danger here. Calling for the pivot. NRG fast now back through. Sees is a wonderful connection. That timing is elite right there. And Derek has locked them all into place. But you have to barrel your way through. It's brute force. It's the name of the game right now for NRG, and it's not good enough.
Sick round from EG. Very reminiscent of what was going on Ascent again, where they've still got such large pieces of defensive utility late in the round to go for a flood like that. Paranoia's still there, Seize is still there, and they're finding huge value because NRG's timing is really predictable, partly because there's only 15 seconds left on the clock. A great round from Evil Geniuses, slowing things down on NRG and stuffing them every time they try to come through a choke.
And this C-mount take, you can't really fight over this one if you are EG. You have to give up and concede that space.
I think that stun is really good, and what a shot from Marv.
Caught by the trip, luckily no one there to play off of it.
Yeah, quite lucky.
Marv's got a gun though. This guy is just running all over them. Footsteps made, and he's caught the timing onto Apop. Ult popped off and online, the Iceman himself. His team can't get it done. He certainly will. He is caught in all sorts of distractions.
What a ridiculous classic Marv play.
Breaking past his own limitations here. Dropped down to 73 health, but look at all the space he's created for them. The A side's theirs. And EG have to give it up. The round's over just like that.
They're not even going to go for it.
I think I understand this to a certain degree as well. When Ethan's one away from the ult, they don't want to give away any of these snowball possibilities again.
Yeah, and Jorgamo only on 200 credits. So just not feeling like they want to go for that. But yeah, Crashy's got his Thrash online just with the plant. What a round from Marv. We're talking about the fact that Cypher is not traditional for him, but the lurking style absolutely is.
It's Forsaken-esque. Really.
And what an aggressive timing to find, recognizing, having that visualization that it would only be one player holding B, because that's how people standard play their defense, and just instantly pathing forwards.
Yeah.
Even getting caught by the trip and not letting that psych him out. Getting deep underneath. Apoth even got past Marv's trip. And he still found that angle underneath to win the Cypher 1v1.
It's one of the things that having that Cypher affords you.
But also, Fred, just for a moment, that ain't replicable. That's not part of a grander plan for NRG. That's a sick individual timing play. And we'll see Marv and Victor go for those throughout the series, I'm sure. But it needs to be underpinned by a really good big picture idea as well. And so that's what I'm looking for in this round from NRG. We've seen this mound take. The stun looks good. It's very difficult to contest. Can you actually convert that into a side hit? This time mixing things up, going for the Flash Dizzy combo there for Mound. So really trying to play with expectations so that the EG players can't get an understanding of, all right, they're using the fault line in the same position every time, so we can use utility to timing that. Really mixing things up.
Posted Victor up deep as well towards C. NRG have to re-clear rubble. That was taken, so they're going to use the fault line, mosh pit. Good combination of the util to take at least back a bit of that space, and they're keeping Victor still into position. So that's the important element I'm going to be paying attention to.
If they were hoping to take this A orb on Ethan, it's not here. And Ethan instead is just watching the B push. This is all fake pressure, and it's pulled out the Nightfall.
Getting 2 tags onto the players, but honestly, that might be all the read they need here. EG might just start to rotate some players up and away, and already they've made the calls. You can see Jorgamo running across the minimap. He's going to be trying to reinforce over towards the C site, knowing that they've lost a bit of control towards that direction.
But NRG are not committing anywhere, and there's still only 30 seconds on the clock. They haven't made a decision.
Looking for a detainment, anything to just force the hand of these EG players, but are backed away entirely. No detainment. Superman is taking out Demon 1. Marved, they're aware of the low possibilities, but again, he has to take matters into his own hands. Double face, running him down now. Just trying to use the trips to slow them in their place, but where is the ending here for NRG? Is it towards B? Only 10 seconds remaining. It's EG. They are just plucking them apart. Unraveling the thread that is this round, having to commit and stick this one, but there are no defense available. Not for Victor.
The decision-making needs to be snappier for NRG.
Yeah.
Make a call. What are you doing in that moment when the Nightfall hits?
You're seeing the same problems rear its head as that first map. Just the inefficiency, I mean, settling in. They have a basic idea of what they want to do. But
it's
Victor
just too
taking
slow.
Mount, you pressure A, you try and force rotate, you go back over to the C. But you're right, it's too slow. By the time they're actually getting into position to even do anything, there's 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah. I mean, they really have been watching the Na'Vi VODs. Yeah. Trying to take the time down like crazy. That round, though, got to give credit to Marv. They knew that he was coming. Apoth had already seen the Marv lurk on the cam, and Marv still got a kill and took 2 people on a merry chase. If Marv's feeling like he can take the timings to get the kills, then he's going to make it easier for NRG. But I still haven't seen that good attack side that we need evidence of.
Nice movement from Victor. Ooh, bit of a... Okay. Friendly fire there with a fault line. Superman's not going to be pushed away from this triangle so easily, though. He's still holding on to control of this. And with EG layering down the pit on the other section of the map, out towards the C main choke. Again, NRG are going to be super limited in terms of the way they want to try and take this and fight this. How do you even clear the pit?
Yeah, I don't think you can clear the pit very well with this composition. You don't have Prowlers to follow. You don't have, like, a Nightfall ultimate to go with or anything like that. They don't even have the Omen ult to get on the other side of the pit like we've seen some teams go for. So I think EG... They just know that the C site is locked down under nature's control.
That's why they're stacking 4 players, B, A area. Prowler in the mid round by Derek. It's both of them going to be used. Peeks out wide, sees, nades, just missing. Ever so slightly going for that refight over towards A. Rubble, 40 seconds into the round.
Do they use this timing after the Haunt? The Haunt sees nobody. Now you start to take some space forwards. 30 seconds left. End A with the fault line.
Okay, rolling thunder over towards B. Instead, it's going to pave the way out through the baby door. No one can really stand their ground. Towards it, Jorgamo. Taking liberties. This man's feeling free right now. All the way over towards the side. And the transfer of a lifetime. Derek is doing the most for it, but maybe they can overpower their way back into the side. NRG 2v2. Maybe they can isolate this fight here. Snake bite. Mosh pit meeting the match! Superman! He just collects it anyway.
These EG players, they're white hot. It's not the same players every round either.
No.
We've been singing the praises of Apoth and Jorgamo, but Superman there, just dunking on a double face of NRG. That's a spot where you should be going 1-for-1 max.
Down you go.
Just deletes them. Another round, though, where NRG's macro scrambles to get the plant down in a scrappy situation, all flooding through that breakable door. They are struggling to get themselves into spots. They're not fast enough to take advantage of these macro opportunities. There's some sluggishness with the way they're calling.
Exactly. The slow rounds have been tripping them up. When the decision-making's easy for NRG, when you have these big ults like the showstopper, Victor's earned it again. It is a weaker buy, so he's probably not going to want to offload it. But you think about some of these rounds they were playing, it was Victor just using it right off the rip.
Yeah.
Fast tempo plays.
Whoa.
That's a nice one to find.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see it, but I heard it, and there was 1 bullet. So that's going to look nasty in a replay. Marv's getting squished outside B.
Need this kill onto him at least to try and make it a bit more doable. He's tucked close into the corner. Satchels are nice. Pushing them back and away. Victor. Okay, finding no value there, at least from the rocket, but it does at least get them access to the A site.
Absolutely, I think that's worthwhile. Demon one away from ult. Crashies, one away from ult. Kills here could turn things.
EG really quite fast. They need to clear out rubble. It's one of the things that they're quite concerned about here. Aftershock. Pushing them back, flip the switch, forcing Ethan towards the back of the site. Close quarters. So they're trying to do a bit of work here with the Stingers, and they're doubled up onto Heaven. Apoth! One and done there, traded out. NRG defining value. Tucked into all these tight positions. And it's precision on display by Demon 1.
Lovely round from NRG. Great post plant. And I think a good usage of the showstopper there. Hopefully we get to see Demon 1's entry too. He was to play with a Vandal. Put that hero rifle.
Jump spot? Oh, just a jiggle.
Yeah. And now he's doing one shot. That's the level of Demon 1 precision that we know and love. And yet haven't been seeing a ton of recently. Not one left. But he is very comfortable on smokes. And now EG dropped down onto an eco. First one that I can remember seeing from them. With how dominant Ascent was.
Mixing up the way that Marv's playing this. Normally front section of B, this time he is alone.
He's always so aggressive in these
spots. There's so much danger. There's so much danger. Crosshair placement, though, is quite ideal for it. Satchelled! Jorgabo! Oh my God, he's disrespecting him!
I love the way that Jorg plays. He's got to be one of the most entertaining players to watch.
We're moving like that.
It's him and Jing. There's something to do with having a J in your name.
I can't disagree.
Spike planted.
He's earned himself a rifle, but surely that's where the retake ends for EG. They have util available for them, but Jogmo down and out. Sheriffs nailing a few of these shots here. Crash is even feeling like he had to use the thrash into this particular position. They're being squeezed. NRG, though, should still be favored. Jump spot. It's only real way to clear it. Derek only be able to do so much here. Time running short now. Spike chipping away. Hello, 1v1. Crashies holding on.
A very solid kill there at the end from Crashies, but Apoth applied the pressure. I'm not sure there was even enough time for him to run back had he got the kill, but they certainly gave it a good old college try. Watching Marv's POV is scaring the bejesus out of me, man. He's putting himself on such aggressive spots as the solo lurk player, and that's on B and on A. It's like he just has ultimate faith in himself to be able to win any fight against any number of players.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I respect the confidence, but I think EG have got enough ideas that they're going to be able to punish him eventually. It's Evil Geniuses now, though, taking a tactical time, which is something that other teams have run against EG pretty often, and Apoth has sometimes fallen to it. I get in punishes onto Marv, and this time, I mean, they've read it again, where Marv is going to be on A. Both teams kind of rotating the map on each other, but Marv this time taking a more passive route, respecting the fact that he got pushed previously. He doesn't want to tangle with it, but EG are faking that control.
Now Gido contacted quite close to the corner. Trip going to be tripping him up for only a moment here for Victor. Can deal with it. They just got a snake bite that's going to be landing for when this plant starts to get online, and there it goes, flying forwards with the nade that's going to disrupt it. So the plant online for them. Now time bought, EG, Nightfall. Forwards, the senses cut away. Spike regains, but they want to try and pivot into B. Who's going to be leading the charge from is Ethan. Wading right into the trip. Apoth, ult online. Norofep gives him all the info. And a key reposition now. He's going to be cutting up close and tight to these corners. There are no gaps right now in the EG's playbook.
They could have held there on C. NRG, they had the orbital strike. They could have held off that push and tried to pause the round and freeze. And instead, they keep trying to rotate and find the weak spot. EG are just reading that.
Apoth. It's an off angle. Might choose to just peek in here in forward cam. Seeing it now and hearing it. Footsteps rumbling forward towards him. Kills it to be found, and they are even out, at least on the side of NRG. The two can stand here to try and get this plant down over towards A.
I don't see how they're stopping Jorg.
Yeah, and here it is. Showstopper. Basically let the fuse burn out. You need a kill to be found. But Demon 1 has dropped one player. The stand crashes. He's just being isolated, locked down in a position, rooted, a tap, 6 seconds, and Derek faces. Boundless confidence here, 5-5, EG. It's a stellar defensive half of Lotus, I gotta say.
Really is. I think one of the big problems with the way that NRG are calling on every single map on their attack side is that they're always trying to find the weak spot in their opponent's defense setup. So here, for example, they realized that everybody from EG is ready to flood defend C, so they tried to pivot out and go B. But the problem with that is... The problem with that is it's easier for the defenders to anticipate those kind of rotates. And in this game, you can throw down so many mollies, seizes, paranoias, all these kind of things to make that an impossible pivot. They haven't dealt with the
plays.
That's what they did on Ascent.
Yeah. Backs against the wall. Maybe they can come up with something different, but right now, a lot of eyes looking towards the B site.
Yeah, certainly looks like we're going to see an early stun on B with Victor trying to follow up on it. They're just doing that normal cage, making it feel like it's only Marved here towards B. And if they bait Jorg and Derek into fighting, they're going to find themselves stunned by the breach.
So far, very interesting looking wall. Not really seeing too much more in terms of the POVs. Crash, he's hunting for this cam. Pesky problem, do they have to dislodge?
There's that Prowler. Quite late into the round, the second Prowler from Derek to put a bit of pressure on the Marved, and the rest of the team at this point had kind of rotated off.
Yeah.
So
I'm a bit worried for NRG though, still at this point, Josh.
Well, a 1 minute re-clear of rubble I think is pretty standard. This isn't too bad, but they don't have that normal Viper wall that they can put up and drop. So this is going to make it more obvious they're headed towards A.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of utility expended just to take that mosh pit flash, fault line stun.
They can pivot B here because Marved is in a nice spot.
Oh yeah! Monster
But the
on
squeeze will be a good call to do. And it looks like that's what they're going to be trying to do. Snakebite down at the feet. Up and down one angle. And it has just put a bit of a pause into the round, but maybe Firepower can do it. Lovely jump spot. Victor. It's just messing up the aim enough for his team to really get into the fight. Nade rebounding, will disrupt it again. This plan is going to be pushed back and away. And with Derek finding that one kill, the straggler crashes. He's supposed to be that late look, but an ult earned. Victor. Putting the rocket into his hands, contacting slowly as it goes, and just about catching. So 2 to stand here into this retake. Do EG still want to make a go of things? Jorgamo finds a kill. It's a little bit messy. Bulldog doesn't make it a clean job, and so there's still some fight left for these EG players. They do want to make a go of this one. Hearing that reload up high, damage done to a multitude of targets, but it's NRG. We're just going to be narrowly taking the lead.
I think that's a great round from NRG called out of attack timeout. They do so much on their attack round there that has been tripping them up before. They go and insert Marved into a deep position on B with the rest of the team ready to punish in case Marved got challenged. They also cleared out Mound. They didn't break the trip, but they cleared Mound. Then they went back to A and had the option of pivoting B. That's how you work the map properly. That was a lovely round called by Ethan, with Chet assisting out of the attack timeout. And it's dropped the economy of EG and set NRG up for a 7-5 half if they can just convert this one.
That's where the importance lies. And you can see just the fault line being held. The UI elements.
Toxin screen down.
That's just a punish in case there is a play to refight out towards rubble. Anybody pushes past the door.
Demon One's been holding this orbital strike an awful long time. I don't know whether it's designed purely as post-plant utility, but you'd imagine that you could put the squeeze onto nature here.
Oh yeah.
As soon as the Snakebite goes out, you're like, right, I know exactly where the Vipers stood.
Should be quite predictable, but I'm choosing to do it. Nature jiggling. Dodging everything. Now to Util Kitchen. Sing being sent at him. And they do eventually isolate it. Stunned up. Jorgamo still with a cage. Fading away. Gives him that opening. Satchel forwards. And around to the corner here. NRG not going to be given that easy access over towards the A site. They can't find these easy fights. These duels. They're tiling away of EG. It's falling to pieces. In NRG's camp, they had all the weaponry. They had a big ult. Almost as good as a beginning as you could really hope for, but that flood defense of EG now has basically ramped it up nice and pretty, 6-6. Unless Marv can just go huge and nuclear, it's not likely though.
It's got 20 seconds left. It's an impossibility. The rest of the team just looking to focus on their defense half at this point, I think. Well wishes to Marv. Give it the best shot.
And Jorgamo taps out wide there, bit of a pre-fire. 6-6, like I said, wraps it up nice and pretty. Synchronized, but on Lotus, we know how this map tends to be on the attack side. EG, it's a hell of a half for them.
Yeah, I think this is going to put massive pressure on the NRG camp. EG all smiles on their side as we ended the half even. They know it's an attack-sided map. Their comp has so many ults to work with.
feeling all the more likely, isn't it? As we're creeping closer. But over on the LATAM broadcast, we're trying to for Derek and a whole load of these players. And of course, you can't count out the blueprint. Potter's been providing it. The key to victory for EG, how prepped they were, all these cool ideas, bringing it into the mix. And now, going toe-to-toe with a team like NRG, looking rough around the edges.
Pistol round setup here for NRG. It's got them trying to control the whole of Mound. I mean, there is just nobody home on the A site whatsoever on the defense. They've just got that trip.
I made a bit of a pencil jump by Jorg. I think that's the cleared away.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to hard commit into it, but he's just trying to get height so he can clear Mound. That's a crazy way to do it.
My question is, what protocol happens if nature opens the door? Does NRG abandon their setup?
Triple faced up, Apoff. Oh, it could be under some immense pressure here. He's still going to be chased down, but the backup arriving just in time. EG covering the retreat. And now the hard pivot over towards A.
Lovely dismantling of that pistol round strat by EG. They knew something was up. They held their ground, waited to bait out the response from NRG. Now they've got a 5v2 advantage.
I threw Ethan wants to go fast with this one. Aftershock. Even a flash. Connecting but vulnerable to Ethan. It's back to all of them. It's the only chances for NRG into this pistol round to just go fast and loose and disrupt that plan as it was going down.
These are the kind of pistol rounds, by the way, where NRG will be so happy to take those kind of raw fights. They'll just think of themselves as better because they've achieved more in the past. Whoa!
Okay.
For a moment, maybe Crashy's had the belief there too. But like that fight out of B main, where it's just a straight up fight. Even the fault line trying to assist the NRG players, they will feel so comfortable because they think of themselves as those big dogs in the server.
And a lot of teams, when they're taking fights like this, they won't overextend into this deep angle.
It's really tough. They win fights there.
Yeah, you see that kind of discipline being instilled by a lot of teams, which I'm assuming has been honed through scrims, where they've tried to go through similar plays and they've been punished like NRG here.
The problem is when you swing out a B like that, they can be on either side of the choke point.
It's
they can
not
be so much further back.
It's not a favorite fight for NRG to take.
It's not. That's why I'm saying I think they will just favor the fact that they feel like they're better fraggers. But EG are, with them pound for pound today, and with better game plans, I think. The one way missing there from Superman, but I don't think it's going to make too much difference in the round. EG have got an overwhelming rifle advantage, and this is where you start to see players like Jorgamo looking to flex that advantage, take an alt orb, get in the face of the NRG players.
A lot of concerns, I think, of potentials for a trap play, especially when they've got the Cypher, the fault line availability. Breach does allow you to just sync up a lot of the utility.
Yeah, Marv can create threats around the map just by putting his cam or trips in weird spots, because they're going to assume that there's a trap play behind it.
You can see it just from the way that EG are making sure that the front section of C is entirely clear before they go for the orb.
Yeah, they have actually spent so long clearing the front part of C out. They've allowed NRG to stack it.
And here's the fault line. Nade into the back, slow down, TP, disengage in a way. Jorgamo, his chances here that he could fall, especially with this cage in his face. It's an awkward fight, but they're going to be overwhelming his position, spraying all of them down, every single target. Didn't stand a chance. Precisely the target you don't want those kills on. Jorgamo, this guy, it's not just the confidence that he's feeling right now, but he's earned himself up to a big ult.
That's going to be something that now NRG have to keep in the back of their minds, or the forefront of their minds really, and come up with a strategy on defense that accounts for that. Can they force it out early by putting the squeeze onto Jorg somewhere? Apoth also just walked through there on B, so that's another gap that NRG need to keep their eyes on too. Getting stressed around the map here. It should be really difficult for EG to take rubble control anytime Ethan wants to fight over it early round. So EG are probably just going to do what they're doing here. Take C early on, and then re-clear A if they need to.
And this is where the meta's been trending on Lotus these days. Not too much fighting on the attack side out towards Rubble. Usually a later re-clear.
Hello, Marv.
Okay.
He saw where that was going for. He knew it was aimed towards him.
Dropped down to 70 health.
I think possibly he thought that it was just for back pillar instead of towards spawn. And there's Apoth early. First 40 seconds breaking that trip. That's going to keep somebody in that spot. And Ethan desperately wants to provide utility assistance to the rest of his team as they're trying to flood defend. But he's got to keep his eyes on B now.
NRG can still do work here, though. They've stacked this one with the appropriate amount of players, and with the showstopper not getting value, might be the time to strike here for NRG. Wingman forwards, not quite finding it. Door flips open with the switch as well. It's a bit, obfuscation in terms of the way that EG are trying to land this one, but finally the plant coming through. Shots also fired forwards. Dizzy blinded. Goop all over the place. NRG, they have the foothold. Surely just need to land these shots. They got the rifles in play. Still dealing with this one, though. Apoth. That is a pesky moment from him. He's just catching those late lurks. Demon 1, leave it to him. A 1v3. He's got to worry about the flank. He's got to be worrying about his hard anchoring positions of these players tucked in every single position. That's nice, though. Snappy. 6 bullets. Down to just 3. 33 health as well. It's making it just so damn unlikely. Nature. Yeah, 1 bullet. Straight to the cranium. 9-6. EG have all the momentum behind them now.
Apoth is terrorizing them on the lurks again. He breaks the trip, cams into B, the cam doesn't get broken, sets him up for the late flank, putting pressure waterfall, and he just kind of pulls players further off site because they're worried about him, and allows the rest of his squad to get in, still manages to find the pick.
EG do love their aggressive Sentinel players, just taking those risks.
This 1-2 punch of Jorg at the front and Apoth behind is almost impossible for teams to deal with. Sentinels struggled, NRG are now struggling too. Meanwhile, we still haven't seen EG go for one of these just late round reclears over towards rubble, which I think could be extremely effective.
Apoth again going for the same play.
Yeah.
NRG, I mean, yeah, you're on the half bar, you got to make some moves towards something, but again, you're never really going to be favored trying to take that fight.
No, it's so easy for the player to just tuck into this corner and then set up multiple people kind of facing you from both sides. It's really rare we see the defenders win those fights, but it's the desperation from NRG. They're now walking back out, but they're going to meet Apoth's trip. Can they apply enough pressure?
We'll see. Trip's broken onto the flank. This is a fast approach by NRG, and they are just trying to create that pressure, noise cues and sounds. Apoth stunned up. Just can't quite do it.
That's
These
big.
kills. Yeah, flooding in the direction this time of NRG. See if they can do a bit more damage.
Victor's been anticipated.
And Nature, it's already fast. Forwards, Victor! Strip the head clean off. Kill feed filled up entirely with green, and now Ethan can take his time alongside Marv. Forwards here with Derek on such low HP. That is a necessary round for NRG.
Finally, the big name players on NRG showing why they should be respected.
Yeah.
EG knew almost every one of those swings was coming, but they still couldn't stop him. Victor got anticipated on his stairs push, the trip got broken behind, and they were watching the flank. But the combo of the fault line there, and some great shots being hit, giving NRG the round towards the end.
You've got to imagine that'll get the confidence back up for these NRG players.
It's a lifeline for them.
Yeah.
Right there.
It looks like NRG might want to dominate mount control again, potentially to get the orb onto one of these players, maybe Victor. I think this is going to be an enormous clash.
See them facing. Got to break the haunt, though. TP across. How do you get through this initial smoke, though? It's a hard ask.
I think this is one of those spots, honestly, where EG could try to use a better smoke from Superman. That one way is not finding value, but they're going to Nightfall instead.
Nightfall sends flying here with a paranoia and a nade. It's all being exchanged and lobbed on our even sides. Jorgamo just satches up to the high ground position, and the smoke won't save you. Superman, did he just stick the TP behind them?
He did, because they're on Nightfall. There was no audio cue. Superman, there's nothing personnel, kid.
I mean, that is just insanity.
What a play by EG. You got to see there what NRG are trying to do to hold on to that space. The fault line came through from B, putting pressure on them, but Jorg just jumps up. They can't hear it because of the Nightfall. And an Omen ult behind them. That is sick.
That is so good. I mean,
we've seen teams rip those kind of ideas before. That could not have been timed more perfectly, because EG...
yeah.
I mean, NRG were all in on that mound control. And the Evil Geniuses... putting the genius back in their name there. Love that play.
Ripped it to shreds. Let's see it again. Surely going to be catching this one. I mean, Jorgmo's movement, impeccable, as per usual. But here he is, just sticking a TV behind your eye, and a nightfall just... And you cut away all those senses.
It might seem like a small thing, but the fact you can't hear the blast pack actually means that these NRG players had such bad crosshair placement for Jorg's peak. Normally, you hear a blast pack and you're like, all right, I'll start aiming upwards towards where you're anticipating seeing him. There's no audio cue, so they've got bad weaponry, but they're forcing into it. I mean, down to 300 credits on Crashy's, Marved, and Demon 1.
I mean, this is...
relying on the ults to get them across the line.
a backbreaker if it doesn't work out. It really is that full investment. Again, they're going to be winning out this initial fight and battle out towards Rubble. Just the nature of their composition. It's going to be able to take that space. Victor also has the showstopper. He could choose to get even more aggressive. Thrash. Nature was waiting for it. And he will apply it up as well, just got to retreat.
They would be fairly happy here to drive EG into Marved's setup. And Demon 1 was looking early round to try to catch this contact from Apoth. Apoth's been slow with it, but now he's going to be walking into Demon 1 and Victor. Demon 1 is fast on the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to him. This guy, he's still precise, just crouched up, locking down that one sight line. The play, it's forced out of them. A lot of trips to deal with. Orbital strike as well. Stun, connecting rocket, let loose on either side. But it's only that even fight taken. NRG, it is that full investment. They got to come up with a win here. They're calling a pause now into this round, letting it loose here with the tap of Jorgamo, Aftershock, Molly, all sent forwards here.
That's good denial of the plant utility. And NRG are going to be set up here to go for either a flood or a set retake with the Thrash.
This is tough, but they're still worried about a flank occurring. And it is tough, isn't it? With only 17 seconds remaining into this round here. Jump spot of Derek, he will get the acknowledgement that there's a player holding his position up towards heaven. Thrash needs to be broken, detained. It catches, and now kills need to be found on the EG side here. But for NRG, they're feeling it. There's blood in the water. They're making their way all the way forwards. The bait and switch, and the rifles singing true, landing onto all the targets, every single mark.
That was the round that NRG had to win. They'd invested into it so heavily and had those ults to get them across the line. Great shot by Demon 1. Still on Brimstone, allowing his aim to work for him. Perfect crosshair placement. And then this, the orbital strike, the molly with the aftershock.
Enemy down.
Made it almost impossible for EG, despite the fact that Jorg just bounced across and over both of those trips that Marved had waiting. Here we go. We haven't seen EG try to aggressively take Rubble in the early round before. I think they're
going to be running into a rolling thunder. Yeah, I mean, Ethan's holding at least some form of the util. It's just a fault line for now.
I don't really see how EG could take this early round. I guess they were just hoping that NRG would for something else. This is so deep.
Trying to push out a B as well at the same time. There's so many angles to account for. They're contacting back up through this. Demon 1, he's overextended his hand. It's feeling like he has to make a play off of this one now for NRG. Them two feeling it. What a call to make. The right pauses into the moment, playing off the flashes. Overwhelming the EG positions. Everybody was blinded up.
That takes guts to call for that play, when all of their pushes out through B main have failed up until that point. From the pistol through to this round, the coordination there from NRG after they took the pause was looking good, but Derek's going to try to fire back. How could he possibly isolate the ones, though?
Yeah, I mean, they're all grouped up. Makes a nice go of it, I will have to admit.
I want to see that round on the replay, though. NRG, they took a pause in the middle of that because they didn't find the angles immediately. EG were playing behind cover, and then they accelerated a second time. There was a second phase of util, and that Dizzy with the flash.
It's a double flash.
Oh, man, that was powerful. Because, there it is, that second breach flash that comes through, comboed with the Dizzy. Beautiful second wave of aggression from NRG. That's something they've been missing before. You do have to be very all in, though, to make a play like that work.
It has knocked EG, though. Wicked guns. Jorgamo, the only one with the rifle. Side by side, though. Nade will clear this into the corner stretch and right in case there was a trip there as well. It would have cleared it.
EG have got some players deep over towards A. This is one of the only rounds that I can remember where NRG did not start with that heavy rubble pressure.
Yeah.
So EG already reading into that, knowing that something's very different. I think they've probably got a great idea that this is just the Cypher on A.
Bring them down.
Trip broken, tree taken.
Especially with the Prowler. Haven't broke the cam though, so Marv's going to get that. I mean, really just solid information. Still hold on to this one. He doesn't fire the dart. Doesn't want them to even check into this position, but now finally reveals the position of it. Drops it down. A lot of util here, flying forwards here for NRG seeking to disrupt. Again, they haven't broken this cam. It's got another go of things here with a tag, but finally that plant forwards. Rifle's got to do work. Aftershock, push the nature wide. Jogma falls, and he was the one who really was going to be supplying that danger. There's no util, spamming away into the smokes. Clean round by NRG. So, nice now, flawless, 10 to 10.
NRG have done such an excellent job at pulling things back level here on EG's map pick, a map that we haven't seen from NRG all year, and they've forced a tactical timeout from Potter. They really didn't know where that cam was from Marv. They had a great idea that it was only marked on the site.
Yeah.
They just couldn't figure it out. Looking like the middle of London, just CCTV footage everywhere.
It's forced a timeout from Evil Geniuses. Like you said, Josh, I mean, time for Potter to really work out what's going wrong.
Yeah, EG are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the line here, and they're going to immediately realize that this is not that classic three-player stack on rubble. I wouldn't be surprised to see EG just run it straight into Marv as soon as they realize there's no stun.
A lot of ground to cover.
They're like, right, okay, this is the same setup from the last round, I think.
Realizing there's no pushback. This time Cam in a different position here from Marv. Door. The Prowler.
Yeah, you can see with the way that they're taking this, they are not worried about anybody being here.
Nope.
They know this is only Marv to probably retake setup.
In full control. And the Prowler as well, connecting onto the trip. That's going to get them signs of life they needed. Still, Cam seeing it. Superman with the plant. Nades. Forwards. This is Victor. He's been sent flying. Trebuchet right into the site. It's NRG now, not messing around with the pit. He's going to be covering this one into the post. He's going to be stretching far enough. Aftershock. Ethan, hesitancy in terms of which part of his util and kit to really utilize in this moment. Satchel's pushing them back and away. Crashies onto the defuse. Anything to stop this. Anything to stop this. The gunfight's won. And it's all wrapped up.
Everyone from EG decided to take the fight outside of the pit, looking to try to stop NRG from flooding around.
What happened with the util?
Just no ability to stop that from coming through at all.
You got a pit on that. Surely first tap you put a snake bite. Well, I don't know what happened entirely with nature to be distracted, but it's that flood attempt.
Sick from Victor. It really has been good watching him play Raze. He's up at the top of the scoreboard, but it's more the space that he's been taking and the comfort with his movement. Again, NRG are not fighting for rubble, and EG are just walking this one through. You know, they're very confident here to just allow them to run into Marv's setup and play the A retake.
Marv will do enough to at least delay.
The cams have been rotated every single round.
Always in a different spot. Sees it again, he knows it.
Peekaboo.
Cam not going to be broken. Laid up towards heaven, stops anybody from pushing back out to it. There was a snake bite as well to try and get that safe plant. Superman just being disrupted. Back to pieces there by the Cam, and again another flood attempt right when the plant isn't even going down here. It's Superman who falls into that tree angle. Still need to deal with pit, and there's really no protocols right now for EG. They don't really have the guns for it. Gonna try and take it here. Raw mechanical ability. Derek's position is so damn tenuous. Repositions forwards, last two bullets not finding it. Jorgmo with the rocket flying. Ethan found, no stun connection. Jorgmo's still there, but now flushed out into the open once more. And the nades are good and the util better. NRG this time gaining that ground, scaling forwards. 8-pop, trying to get cheeky with it. Nature swings, orbital strike, but Demon 1 sticking. It's cleared out the position, 7 bullets, 3 left. Demon 1 with a tap, half already earned. Nature, no way!
Sick clutch from EG on a thrifty round for them, keeping this one tied up at 11-11. I felt like there were opportunities for Demon 1 to use that orbital strike way earlier in the round, And there was players fighting over towards Pit, instead using it late, wanting to keep his rifle out earlier on, and he took half as Victor was just dashing back and forth to try to find the timing onto Nature.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it. Big 1v2 for the caller of EG. And this time, EG are going to mix it up. They're not taking that free space towards Rubble.
So looking to try and fight over Mound this time. I mean, Jorgamon, this level of aggression is ridiculous.
Using the Haunt, using the Prowler to realize that Mound was not being heavily contested for. I think there's chances that you could go for like a re-clear strategy here from NRG perhaps, but you don't have the paranoia to work with. Nature is also just getting free space. I think he's got the read here, that as long as you're on the opposite side of the map to where Victor and the Stun is playing, you can just take a ton of map control for free.
Cage triggered.
How's call for that pivot? Making moves over towards the A side again. NRG going to be tested with the flood. Fighting forwards. This Nightfall though, it's been problems for them in the past. Apop is making full work of it. He's just full sprinting right behind him. The detainment, a slight catch and collision, at least with the rocket. Victor brings him down, but it's been the pivot all along. Superman takes us all out there with a yacht, fighting forwards. Jorgamo seeing it, and the kills are collected. Crossfire setups of all of these rifles. Victor stands his ground, keeps his cool, avoiding the damage, but cannot win the fight out. For Crashies now, all leaving it to Marv. Iceman in a clutch, but this is a little bit too much. These post-plant positions, impossible to dislodge EG from it. This is going to be them up to 12. Inevitable at this point. Little bit scrappy, little bit messy, but EG will be happy the job is getting done.
One round away from closing out their match against NRG 2-0. Phenomenal resurgence from this Evil Geniuses squad. I would say unthinkable, except it happened last year. It did.
Yeah.
With a totally different team, bar Jorgamo and Potter. But damn if it's not giving the same kind of vibes.
Firing on all cylinders, all the pieces towards EG. I mean, kind of swinging and playing off of each other. Impeccable work. And this is it for NRG. They got to try and force it to OT for a chance into the series.
So this round, you see the stun happening over towards A.
Over the top though, this time Team of One anticipating it. That satchel play of Jorgamo, not getting the same value.
This time, no Nightfall to try to disguise it. Double kill trip setups. You can play from on top of this angle. Apop trying to work his way into B. He's been demonic on these lurk timings.
Flash dodged out. Lovely with the aim and a reset, but a bit of a bait and switch. Crashies doesn't alert himself to his presence. Finally swings for the kill.
Marv's setup's been broken over towards C, and EG are in. A 3v4 to close things out and win the series.
To bring it all the way to OT, Marv. Full wraparound here, seeking to clear out these positions. Yeah, just waiting for the body. Neurofef now. Give them the information they were looking for, but again, it's that mound plant. Marv's position here is essential. He needs either kills or distraction, enough to try and get NRG in. They have taken that space out towards the site. Victor is hard pressed though. Wingman onto this plant as well, not being broken. It's a lovely smoke to cut up these angles, and it's all placed. Perfection in the making here for NRG. The way they played that one in the retake, I gotta say, they have firm understandings of how they were gonna win it.
Overtime.
This map has been so back and forth. Any team could come out with a victory here in overtime.
Yeah.
Such a strange comp that we're seeing from NRG. But finding value with it.
I love the way that Team 1 plays that. He knows that they planned it for Mound, so he smokes off the position.
Yeah.
It forces EG out into the open in that final moment.
And they swing together. Beautiful stuff. And we're heading into overtime, 12-12. The Sufflet, EG defending. This one was a 6-6 half. It was dead even on them both.
NRG was struggling on their attack side. It's the ultimates really that got them over the line in a lot of situations or lurk plays. Keep up the same level of consistency.
They're starting off with that macro idea, NRG, that I thought was their best one, which is that Victor and Marv go forwards. They're trying to make sure that they still have presence here when Derek tries to re-clear it. Insert Marv, go and take some mound, and you can even re-hit A in the late here. if you need to.
It's all being slowed down now. Again, minute in the round. First one of OT. Horn getting good info. It's EG seeing that tag onto two of the players. Marv this time, the Prowler catching onto him.
Yeah, I think
be able to get the same play going.
I think this is a really good timing now to head towards A if Demon 1 hasn't seen anything. They're going to leave Victor over here just for a moment. I mean, if he throws a nade or something, well, they're going to B. They've pulled people over towards C and B, and they're going to end B.
C's nade again.
That's
possibility.
difficult.
Yep, C's catching Victor. Fully isolated away from that fight. At least with the cam to tag him, he's going to be backed away for a moment. Now over towards A. Guess what? Superman's time to shine. He's the one locking this one down in a slight off angle. They don't anticipate it. Flash. It's beautiful. All sorts of Udall being used to great success for EG. And there it is. 13 to 12. Once more they find themselves, Josh, one step away.
Switching sides.
NRG was so
Match
close to
point.
cooking up a good round there. And they dragged 2 players C, 2 players B, and they tried to hit B. They're just forced to make a scramble over through rubble in the late round where EG already had the read of what was happening. Similar stuff, the time being Ethan's biggest enemy, IGLing.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bit too readable on where they were finishing. Lovely C's name combo to separate Victor from the rest of the team. EG reading them like a book. Attack side for Evil Geniuses. I think the biggest thing you can take away from EG's attack, they were getting the sights.
Yeah.
They were just getting pressured, and then NRG would set up and flood defend. So if EG can come up with ideas in the post plan, or can try to run some kind of fake even, actually, because NRG were fairly quick to bite on what was happening.
Could be options available. It's NRG taking a time out, of course, but EG are going to be able to utilize it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, for sure.
You're right, they have been getting into that post-plan scenario, usually the plant going down. The trouble is with NRG's comp as well, they have a abundance of resources when it comes to the util that they can use to disrupt, either to stop the plan going down in the first place or just for the retake. We've seen it being so damn good for EG, they could choose to take it into a different direction once they get into the plant, maybe an aggressive post-plan, instead of hanging all the way back.
EG have been gambling a little bit at the start of the rounds. They'll try to take some rubble control until they hit the fault line, and then they get an idea that it's a 3-player stack. So you see everybody bunched up as if there's going to be a rubble fight here, but I would expect EG to just back off as soon as they get stunned. Oh, the stun is held.
Yeah, just waited, delayed. I think this is a good call here. Now Ethan's going to let it rip alongside some util, potentially. No noise cues. Nade forwards. Nature playing inside of his own orb. Horn sent flying, so they know that nobody's there. Has cleared out rubble control. This time EG, I mean, they can just posture this entirely. They have walked into P. NRG, there's a level of that awareness that they know that it's going to be compromised, but they're going to be ready onto the eye. Goals mouth! He lets it loose with the fire. Demon 1 quick to take it, but they don't realize Heaven's compromised. Jorgamo backs against it. Satchel away. Ethan collects it.
3v3 though, and as things calm down, EG are locked out of the B site. Nature has space, repositions the orb to try to open this avenue for the rest of his team. But it's going to be a little slow before Superman and Derek can get here. And Nature's trying to make it as safe as possible, but he can't cover everywhere at once. And these NRG players are sneaking through to heaven.
They're already down to the side. The silent drop down of Victor. In position, ready to strike. Ethan, util at hand, fault line forward to the satchel, didn't connect with the stun, matters not, still with the kills. And the flash forced to be dodged. Derek, he can't set his crosshairs onto the likely target. Nature is here to do so much more, but there's no easy options. Lovely movement.
An amazing synergy between Victor and Ethan there. Ethan stuns, Victor capitalizes. Yes, it didn't land, but it's still that pressure. And then a flash, just connected, really well connected in terms of how they want to play off each other. This isn't the duo that was kept together. This is connecting the parts from Evil Geniuses and Optic, you know, that NRG core, to try to form them into this one squad. Love the way that those two are playing.
Careful there.
All this for NRG, hanging on by a thread. Still in it. They're looking for an extension into the series. Being tested through and through.
Marv maybe looking for this aggressive B timing again. He's broken the trip at front B. And NRG are putting a lot of pressure at the start of the round.
Gonna go for a refight. Superman's way out into the open here. He gets caught. Too much to overcome there, at least with the flashes into his face. And now they have to reassess the expectations. The push and the fight coming out through tree. And Derek forced to reload and back away. Side by side with Jorgamo though. This is getting so damn precarious.
They're worried about where Marv could be. He's reconnected with the rest of the team, but that also means that Ethan doesn't have other options to go back to.
What is this situation?
I mean, Marv is trying to give them an option to pivot in a different direction once the time gets down, because at the moment, NRG have no info anywhere else on the map. But Marv's just one man.
Yeah.
Can't gather info all across the rest of the map on his own.
Can't fake the presence, so EG get the knowledge surely at the back of their minds.
30 seconds
Have to worry
left.
about the late lurk, but they can keep a lot of bodies anchored, rooted into place and position. Derek with the dizzy dealt with. Nature instantly there, swinging out wide. Derek seeking it, breaking it apart into pieces. Like a whirlwind, man, EG. They will not give up that space. They'll just take it one step further.
Switching sides. Match point.
EG get another match point. They've had a bunch of them in the game so far. And if they convert, if EG win this game, then the Omega Group are guaranteed that third playoff spot. A lot of people have been looking. The groups look one-sided, very lopsided. There was a chance that it would be only 1,100 Thieves going through from the Omega Group, but you guaranteed somebody, not guaranteed EG. All right, stun early.
And this is what it comes down to! Jorgamo! I mean, pure disrespect on display. I mean, he's trying to just evade the stun, try and catch that timing against them.
Yeah, and they haven't gone for anything like that. So I love that they're working things differently in overtime, but it doesn't work. NRG too sharp for that one.
Losing one of the heavy hitters. Again, you're on the precipice. You can find advantage of yourselves, but NRG should be pleased with it for now. Smoke in Victor's face. Fear and paranoia at the back of his mind that they could have taken the A side because there's a lot of util being used into that direction. But EG calling for a pivot into B, it looks like. Me gonna have that main control. Apoff, in fact, fully just not sinking all the way in.
It's just purely in the blind spot of the camp. And Apod's through, opened up the avenue for Superman, who broke the camera.
They're worried about just a fast play here, but NRG, they're so slow on the mark, they're not even in position to really disrupt this one. So Superman now gonna be getting that full stick down. In these moments, close attention has to be paid, I think, to Derek. He's the one who's going to be holding this off angle when this retake occurs. If he gets some kills, plays his life, tucks himself forwards, Nature's there, Dizzy's broken. Just not really finding any easy finds with the satchel forwards. They have paved the way, at least the direction that NRG can take this into the retake. Apoff inside the cage, winning out his ones, but he's just one man. What can you do? Not a lot. We go again.
NRG's retakes, making sure that they clean up Derek there. There was certainly a chance for Derek to put them through. If he'd been a little cleaner on securing those kills, this match might have ended already. Yeah, and I don't blame Jorg for trying to find that timing at the start of the round. You've got to remember, we're deep into overtime at this point.
Yeah.
You can't just be sticking to the same game plans you had throughout regulation.
Conditioning be damned. You got to mix it up. The playbook, got to rewrite it or just throw it out.
Watch and learn.
Back and forth, back and forth.
On defense, to take a look at this camera, it's been absolutely ruining NRG.
And a fast fight! As a stun, at least the connection. Jorgamo's way ahead of it though with a C still. TP forward, Superman! He's dealt with! Jorgamo! He falls! And Marved! From behind with a dagger in his hand! Apoff doing a decent amount of work, but you need even more than that. Feels like the first time in ages. NRG with this surely setting themselves up now. One round ahead, taking the lead in this map. Best opportunity they've really had.
Derek gives away where he's positioned and takes a rocket for it. NRG get themselves up to a map point, 15 to 14. It's been grueling to get themselves up here. Evil geniuses take a tactical timeout, determined to try to answer back and drag us further through overtime.
Pushing to the limits here, I mean, of both teams. NRG went for a similar play. I mean, just actually trying to opt into this rubble fight here.
How does Jorg die there?
It's just back a few, I mean, stray bullets, I think.
Yeah, it takes a bit of spam and then the boombot catches him in the side of the head.
Yeah.
That's a wild one. NRG have not been able to close out rounds early like that. EG have never fought them at the start of those rounds on defense. And NRG's composition really able to flex towards Mound. Normally, it's been Demon 1's smoke, and then a stun behind it, people positioned. Are they still gonna go for the smoke? That seems really weird to smoke your opera off.
This is bizarre.
They're not. Does EG smell a rat?
Satchels, forwards, paranoia! Shot missed! Victor, I think just steadily moving away, and Demon 1 brought down. The spectator seed crashes. Biding, waiting, and what a play he could make.
There's nobody else
Replay
coming.
it down, you could even it up. There is no one else coming, but he might just be waiting for it entirely. No call-outs.
The longer it waits, the more chance for Crashies to potentially mess this one up. And
There
he takes
is.
it.
Does take it. The easy shot finally. So it is 4v4. Victor got a damage done for him, being pressured by that Prowler, and now near-sighted, blinded, forwards, already taking a space with a seize! Flick to the side! Victor! He's isolated down just to the raw aim aspects, and he's got backup. Arrived in time here. Ahead of the flashes, though. Ethan can't claim the kill. Still, they're falling to pieces. For EG, it all leans and relies on Apoff. But look at the awareness of Crashies. He's already ready to contain, already to put a stop to it. And Derek in a 1v3. We've seen clutches from him, but for NRG, that grueling finish right to the line. They win it out, and they earn their extension in this.
And making an echo of what happened in 2023. My focus, Bren, to start this map is gonna be on that Demon 1 raise. It's just been the talk of the town, but it's on the other side of the map to start on the pistol. A 4-player stack from NRG as they make it look like there's more presence over towards B with that knife.
One over the top not broken. That's going to clear out most of the site.
Ethan
Oh, it
playing
should
inside
be.
the cage.
Yeah, Ethan inside the cage actually has locked this one up, but up and over and around, Ethan.
Down A.
It's the one there. In fact, NRG are willing to just hold the ground. Real defensible positions. Apoff being red there, just trying to absorb up that space towards mid.
That's a lovely pistol round strat. Reading the EG finish on A perfectly. Cage there for Ethan to play inside too. A trip. Now for a little bit of contact. And they know exactly where Derek and Nature both are.
There should be no chances, really.
One enemy
Sending
remaining.
out a lot of that util. Victor takes the contact. Would have been plenty of players ready to swing and trade him out if he did 4. So once more, NRG pistol round going to be gained for them. They have been pretty steadily consistent with getting these opening pistol rounds. This is just ludicrous.
Now, I'm not 100% familiar with what EG did last time they played on Sunset with the pistol, but that looks like a hard ante on the pistol to me.
Yeah.
Couldn't totally confirm it. My memory's not that good. But when you've got a trip and a cage set up like that, and 4 players stacked on A, that looks like a hard read against what EG have done in prior maps. So gets the NRG defense started off on a good footing.
All the footsteps in the world. NRG know that they've taken up B control. Not much they can do about it, though.
Yeah, that's a unusual smoke being thrown there as well. As the NRG players go back to try to make sure that nobody's got that lurk play deep through mid. I feel like the NRG defenses have just been really solid. Generally speaking, apart from on Ascent where I thought it was a little passive.
Nade sails past Apoff, but he won't be surviving for much longer. And you're right. The defensive setups of NRG generally very well thought out. For EG here, getting that plant down. Need more past that, though. Most plant's not going to be good enough. Pushing through the smoke and past it. A little bit of util to set it up. The Classics doing a bit of work here. Full line even. Delaying the push. Out through market. But surely it should be easy pickings. If only Derek have to stand against it. A right click.
From that range?
Yeah, okay.
Good work from Demon 1. Coming back to the rest of his team so that they could play a couple of players facing into Derek, not allowing himself to be isolated. So they've kept some some good weaponry heading into the bonus here for NRG. Do they have another idea of what they want to do with their setups? We've seen a setup where Demon One on his own is holding towards B, but they fake like there's more players there with the 0 point. And then we've seen Ethan and Victor playing the weaker side of the map together on B. Now Demon One picks up market control. And this does look like EG are going to put heavy emphasis towards A at the start, and that is a little weak right now. There aren't those trips to play off. No KO to combo the util with.
Jogmo's gonna be quick now. Rapid with the Prowler. Still got the Boombot in the back pocket.
Okay.
Horn broken. Arthur's in a bit of a tricky spot here with the nades. Just holding on to the TP just in case. How does that get value? Crashy falls to it.
That's over the top. I mean, that just puts a lot of pressure on the player.
Was it spam damage and just a little bit of a
I think he got
follow-up with
stuck.
a grenade?
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he got stuck in the corner.
We'll find out, I'm sure, in the replay. Just losing track of things onto the high ground. Angle, dropping down. Shot fired. Possibly hearing his rotations marved. Great time to take some risks and matters into his own hands. Sets up the one way. Fine time for the rest of them to start flooding right back into things here with a Paranoia. It's hard to really just clear out Marv from this spot and position NRG. The bonus round conversion here would be electric.
And a disaster for Evil Geniuses.
I have the
They
sprint.
had such a great opportunity in this round. They're taking back control early. And Apos beefing the fight against Demon One, who only had a Guardian.
You don't want to see it like that. 24 seconds.
Another 1v3 for a different player to try to pick up.
There's only one option you can go for. If you want to play to your outs, it's the A site. Has to be one out. Magnetic to the head, but again,
10
it's Marv to deal with, it's Ethan to deal with. Running away, right out of there. Shutting down Superman. Bonus round conversion. As you said, Josh, I mean, it's a heartbreak for EG.
Yeah, because I think they played the macro really well. I think the most standard thing you can do with EG's comp is to go and take elbow control at the start of the round and then cut noise and bait out info peaks. They're in a 5v3 here. And yeah, Crashy's just getting caught by the nade. Oh, 4v3, apologies. But the fact that they couldn't stop Marv from just walking in A-Link and destroying them. Derek's literally holding that angle, waiting for the info clear. And can't get the punish. Not an auspicious start to EG's attack side. Not the beginning that they would have wanted.
No. When you can't get the rounds on the board either, you don't really get the ults alongside it. Still a few away. Puff just unaware that that angle could even be open to him.
It's good information to then allow EG to go for the pop. But,
I mean, the util. Push to the back.
Sheriffs.
Yeah. Just with these guns, Victor. Little peek there, slightly open to it. Mosh pit, dropped down at the feet. Superman lucky to be alive. He was blinded up, unaware of how close he was to certain death. Nature. Sticking now with a plant, now a showstopper really to just see if they can get this one going. Okay, out of the sky. Ult's not gonna be doing too much here, but what can you do, Nature, in this spot? Not much.
The ult investment is very heavy just in general from NRG, but that's going to be a team decision, I think, to invest the ult. The double blast pipe there causes Demon One to get stuck in the animation and get punished, but listen, they got the round sealed up at the end of the day, and that's what NRG were looking for. You can see that EG's attack side is trying to be very reactive. They're looking, when Apoth gets punished in mid, they realize that's 2-3 players there, we can hit the site. But they need to find those opportunities, really, when there's rifles online. And B still very decisive. Well, that's a great shot, though. That is a great shot to shut down Demon One.
Caution.
Few away now from some big key ultimates of EG. Been playing super hard for control of B main. Easiest access for the orb, but this time setting up for a bit of a play with the boombot broken. Does Jorgmo suspect that things are up? Yes, he does. Got that awareness and even going to be claiming the kill.
Just a bit too obvious when the boombot gets broken there.
Hard stick there from the ult to just try and reinforce that B side, expecting to be
Good
way
flash.
faster from it. Flash is excellent. They've already taken and occupied up mid-control. Market is theirs! And so is the round at this point. Team 1 and Crashies would have to go massive to stand a chance. They have mid-control. Apoth
remaining.
Slipping around out of their sight lines here, weaving in and out, dodging and juking.
Even giving away his position with a couple footsteps, still gets one on the board. NRG overcommitting to a B main fight. Joe gets the read. As soon as that boombot's broken, you see the protocol from him. They go for the breach flash to set him up on the angle and a nade towards the back. Both teams exchange paranoias, but it's EG that put the pressure there, put the squeeze onto Ethan, Victor, and an ulting Marv. Now there are enormous ults for EG to work with over towards this A site. We've got Demon 1 here to try to reinforce things on the defense for NRG.
Satchel out.
The amount of chances they've got is going to be insane, surely. It's a long-range flash! Jorgamo! My God, man! Can't be doing it to him like this. Crashies still going to be alive and kicking out towards the elbow angle.
I know exactly.
Potential for him to be cleared up. Neural theft. They're going to see this one as a heavy, heavy over-rotation. And Superman does have his ult for a pivot. In case he spots it, would love to see him execute onto this one here, but they're not calling for a pause into the round, and that could be to their own demise! Rolling Thunder, it has to tear through it, but it leaves it to Crashy in that 1v2, lit up. And a neural theft, double phase, and not able to do it. It's EG who close it out.
There were chances for NRG to turn that one, but EG had the advantage right from the beginning with Jorg outplaying Demon 1. I don't really know what NRG was set up for at the start there.
It was the long-range flash of Ethan, just trying to put Demon 1 in position.
But one of my problems with it is, what we're seeing from the top teams that look elite on Sunset is that on defensive A, you start with a protocol that works against a fast A push. And then after about 5 seconds, when you know there's not that fast A hit, then you can start to do those like re-clear or more aggressive plays. Talking about aggression, NRG walk down mid.
This is it. They're writing a template and the book on it, Marved. Bullets go flying, TP to get out of there. Nightfall scatters and does land onto a few of the players.
They're trying to pinch them from B main at the same time, but they're worried there could be trips in there.
A lot of trips in their face. Flashed up. What the hell is occurring, Jorgamo? It's like he just wakes up from a slumber, but eventually EG aren't getting it done.
B main control cannot be denied here for EG, and that's putting the squeeze on these B anchors. Good work from Evil Geniuses, getting into position, building up that economy, and now 3 rounds in a row. 1 for their side. But they've expended all of those big ults. Apoth is going tiles pretty much
Almost every round, right?
Definitely something that NRG can try to work through. You know, if they realize that a sight hit is coming through on A or B, a mid re-clear to catch the lurker could be money.
Could be excellent, could be money, but Jorgamo is the one. He's coming up with tons of it for his team. Marved, overstaying his welcome. He just cannot evade it, cannot escape it. Jorgamo running rampant right now.
You can see that NRG realize from a big picture, macro perspective, losing B main control is devastating for them. So they're trying to fight it in a number of different ways. But nature just unloads breach utility to set up Jorgamo, and that's enough.
Yeah.
NRG have tried tucking Ethan behind the box. They've tried Demon 1 taking that early line. They could try doing some kind of flash re-clear play. But that's even before the fault line hits. Jorg is not really favored in that fight, except that Demon 1 has a lot of different angles to cover. He has to be thinking about right side box, potentially left side if he's swung out wide enough. And Jorg chooses the high ground instead.
There.
EG at this point.
Can they pull weapons out?
Yeah, they'll be looking to do it. Economical damage will be massive. To try and hunt and sniff out these NRG players. Victor's off angle. It's enough that he will survive, and everybody else, yep. No one else fading to black. So we're seeing it. No command. The Thrash still available for them. Might be able to squeak together some weaponry for Marv to work with.
Jorg, last time he had the showstopper, just...
Yeah, so you should be imagining a bit of a passive hold here for NRG. Lineup. The knife.
Yeah.
Gonna make Ethan feel like he's actually over towards the A site.
Deployed.
He's gonna be shoring up the defenses up towards mid instead. Only the one connection. Mid control is the name of the game now for EG. Demon 1 and Marved. They're watching that sight line.
Potential for a massive clash.
Oh, they're watching it indeed. Look at this. Fast through. Right past the rifles. Nade flying forwards, locks off that one choke, but they've already taken top. Mid control! It's ripped away from them!
Player standing.
The round's over!
It's done. Victor left looking at the fallen pieces, wondering how it went so badly for NRG.
I mean, even I was caught unaware by the fact that, they were fighting over Boba, what was that, in 5 seconds flat?
Yeah, this play came through so quickly. Crashy's ripped his ultimate, thinking he had time to be able to play that one and catch the EG players.
Yeah.
And they were so much slower than that electric pace that EG pulled out.
What a mix-up.
Yeah, we haven't seen EG really take mid control like that and path through top mid. It's only been Apoth hanging out in those kind of areas. It looked like there was potential for a coordinated squeeze in mid, but NRG didn't have the initiative. That's wild. Great round for EG to pick up, because that also gets them that showstopper online. They can run an early round play off the back of that. And Victor just kind of wants to keep the gun online. Demon 1 and Marv's credits are so weak. And he's not going to keep it, is he?
Not. Into the next. That's a flawless round by EG. Everybody intact. Important points to know, which you've already pointed out, Josh. You know, the ults build on that. Get the snowball potential, at least for the showstopper. And that's why they weren't expecting it. I mean, it's set up with a paranoia?
Yeah, the paranoia and the TP up top. That is immaculate from Superman. That's so well coordinated.
Yeah.
What a lovely play from EG. 5 rounds in a row, knocking the NRG economy once again. I don't think you need to do a fast play off the rip with the showstopper for this round.
Jump spot from the box. Might catch ahead of a player who was playing top mid just before the smoke blooms and blossoms.
This is looking
It's a
like
reflash, yeah?
potential mid crunch here from NRG, yeah.
They want to try and fight this one, surely, with the flashes. They need to pick and choose the right timing for it. The paranoia flying away.
But they backed off. The
They have
players,
backed off.
Ethan and Crashy, who were top mid, was set up to go for that double flash combo and just didn't commit.
Pokemon's got the right moves. Get himself out of there, at least with the satchel plays and movement.
All of this pressure towards market and mid might well drive Nature into calling his team to hit A. And NRG are already predicting that. There are 2 trips here to work off. This could get very dangerous.
It could get very dangerous. I think NRG are going to be fast on this one, just going to be following all these cues. And they can delay long enough, as long as Victor stays alive. He's got a trip still up. There's one kill trip in order. Still locked into the corner of the site, even peeking off of a flash that Ethan, I think, just lobbing in that long-range artillery. This time, Apoth seeing if he can make his mark in through market. Cam not spotting anything, being pressured all the way from behind, but still wins a fight. Out! And Derek just takes away 2 of them. Spike though. It's out into the open. TP backs away, and crashes to make the play. Here's the footsteps, here's the reloads. Neural Theft pointing them all out. Will he go for the early peek? Bait and switch, 1v1 now. Superman sticking the plant, not feeling deterred, doesn't know where the last alive is. Victor, many ways to play this one. Unknown creeping in the back of the players' heads. They just don't know where they could be, but he spotted it out and sniffed it out.
My ultimate is ready.
Definite danger in that round, even though he's a thrifty from NRG, but fairly well handled from Evil Geniuses. They called to cancel on the A hit. They utilized the lurker. Again, Apoth giving them options in the round. It's so important that your Cypher player on attack gives you that info, that spot on the map where you know that it's safe. And especially when Apoth wins the duel against Marv. It makes the round winnable and danger avoided. See, this is the round where you can really flex the showstopper now. But they're not going to go for that same A hit. You see the NRG respecting it. A more passive hold over towards A, despite the fact 3 players are over there. And Ethan holding the knife.
That's their idea of the counterplay, just in case the showstopper is sent. They've been getting squeezed in these mid-crunches out through B main as well, and they have lost at least sight and direction of where this could be possibly landing. Kill trip, be damned. I mean, Superman's the one who's just taken names off the server, crossed them off the list.
What a crunch there into market. And all the utility was excellent. The fault line even coming through from Nature, through from B main. That area of the map just allowing his breach to have so much impact on the split. And Apoth also collected the kill on Ethan at top mid.
And because this was an eco swing round for NRG, I mean, they're just forced to save these rifles.
Yeah, I think EG are calling a fantastic attack side here.
This is an EG that's just been evolving steadily. I mean, they had some cool ideas, don't get me wrong, when they played Sunset. I think back to the kickoff.
Yeah.
They're opening weeks, and they were throwing in some very interesting looks on their defensive side. They started slow on that map, but, you could see at least the bare bones making of something that was fleshed out. Apoff, important kills from Defiant here, and they spotted out the 2 players with the rifles. If they take them away, it's the danger zone for NRG, and they will not keep any of them intact.
That is brutal for the economy heading into our final round. NRG's defense, they've been trying to fight EG for areas of the map, and yet their composition doesn't really excel in that situation. They can't really hold on against all of the overwhelming utility that's being thrown at them. A seize onto Victor, the stun as well. Despite the fact that Superman gets caught in a trip, it's just too much for NRG to hold on. This is 7 rounds in a row that EG have picked up.
Yeah, ever since the first 4 that NRG could get. Dizzy, broken, deny, paranoia, fast play, but there's really no follow-up off the back of that. Can't really gain the ground fast enough. Trip, acknowledged and broken now, at least with the help of Prowler. It's the final round of the first half.
They haven't broken the trip at top mid, so Ethan can keep watching market from Boba. And it's been a little rare that we've seen Marv actually get posted on this with his one-way. He's got backup in the form of Crashies, but Demon 1 Showstopper is miles away from this, and we've seen NRG fight for control instead of playing the retake. They spot Marved.
Ulting off Superman's contact?
Right there. I mean,
What's the call here?
It looked like they were going to go for that.
Yeah, Flash and a Horn instead, just using the util that's available at their fingertips.
All right, so Marv's trying to pull utility out of them so that they can play retake here, surely.
Another rolling thunder. It's the knife that forces it out early. Marv wasn't caught by it. Not catched by the stun, and this man could make all the difference. Rooted into position. He's got to try and defend this site away from them. That reposition again with the stun in his face. Adjustment barely there by Superman. Doubled up though into the back of the side, and NRG have got to do work now. Putting in the business and winning this out into the neutral team. But one doesn't get anything. Crashies still alive here, but Apoff brought down. Smaller but killed entertainment wins it.
And they're going to go for a brutal finish. But that was the only round that NRG were able to pick up after the first 4 in a row. It's a knife to close out the half, but EG made them work for every inch of that. And it's EG who lead in our 3rd map, 7-5. A slim advantage, but in terms of the rifle rounds, again, like map 1, dominating.
Yeah. It's closer than it really is, I suppose, just because of the nature of them winning that pistol round. And yeah, I mean, they're going to be laughing at the end of this one, the disrespect of the knife play, but they're still going to be down 2 rounds as we're heading into the next half.
And it's Demon 1 that I look to. He's 5-10 right now, but he's on the attack side, playing against his former team, one that he helped win a trophy last year, the trophy, champions. And we talked up how good Victor was in terms of making all of that space on Raze. This is now Demon 1's job.
NRG have been really finding their foothold in a lot of these maps just on the basis of them getting these pistol rounds. Pretty consistent in terms of how well they've been able to grab them. A lot of util is going to be used here to just push them back, but it does not catch Jorgamo. He sits nice and pretty onto the high ground angle, even with that nade rebounding. Not enough with the dead. Yeah, it doesn't stop the plant from going down.
Victor's in a lurk position, and Nature looks like he might get caught here.
Nature is so unaware that he's just really being pushed and assailed on his position. NRG, it all works into the favor of them. Superman turns into a 1v3. But look at the hurdles to overcome. Hello, isolating fight. Found TP into the smoke. Slight direction, misdirection, Crashies. He just holds it down and bides his time, knowing the right time to strike is there.
NRG continue their dominance on the pistol rounds. They've only dropped 1 this series. And considering how close it is, I think that highlights issues elsewhere. But when it comes to the start of these halves, they've had good ideas. I like the way that Demon 1 and Marv hold hands to clear out over there. Getting that timing onto Nature, disrupting the retake from coming through. A good game plan. The follow-through has been consistent so far in this match as well. It's the rifle rounds that have been killing them.
NRG aren't quite there yet, of course. Gonna be knocked down to that eco round. It's up to NRG to really take this, early beginning, the momentum in the second half now and just run away with it. That's if you're looking and following the trends of just, how poor some of the attack sides have been looking from NRG. That's a nice one for Apop, but
This is good.
This is going to be used to clear it out. So the re-clear late of B main.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things, I highlighted it earlier on, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. I feel like Ethan's calling is generally to go away from where the defense is fighting and try to find the weak area instead of contesting that space. And so that's what I've got my eye on. This time, EG pushed up 2 players into B main and they re-cleared that spot. I'm not sure whether they knew those 2 players were that deep until Victor died. But that's the kind of round that I'm looking for. You can't always react. Sometimes you got to brawl.
We'll just take the fight to them. I mean, NRG should have the confidence to do that. It feels like that's almost just their motto when it comes to us, a team. So expecting that they'd win a lot of these outcomes. Ethan, well on his way to that ultimate now, farming up all these easy eco kills for EG.
Can he get the ace?
Maybe even trying to give it to him, yeah. Ethan swinging wide, and there it is. I have a power ace.
A nice one. Clean up the ecos. But you get close to a big ultimate. There are a bunch of ults on NRG's side that you can really work a game plan around. Of course, as Doug was mentioning earlier, you can follow iBuyPower on socials. They'll be giving away a PC with all of these aces. So nice that NRG gave that one to Ethan.
Exactly.
You can use the hashtag #UnlockYourAce. All right, so let's focus then in on this bonus round from NRG. They have an ult to play around in terms of the Thrash. They might even be able to get up the null command. And here's that player inserted into B main.
Superman was considering at least playing that one, and he can't quite break the knife here. So we've been getting tagged. Walks his way out of dodge. Thrash, though, might be getting that connection. No. It's avoided, dodged, and duped. In fact, Superman is really getting aggressive into it. In and out of the smoke, just trying to dodge all the available flashes, and NRG looking to take backside control. This time, it's overwhelming. Stunned up, though. Still, can't quite claim it. Ethan follows through. Finally there. But EG have that player advantage. Them finding Victor into mid, and now it does put the onus onto a player like Ethan once more. Spotted. The jump spot and a flash as well. Ethan dodging and ducking away. Crashes. Picks up the upgrade. But he's getting a move on here. EG are not necessarily fast onto their approach either. There's definitely going to be some time being bought for him. With the mosh pit, you can definitely see the delay. It's spotted. Sees the shoulder. Kills. Found on the side of EG, though. Spraying him through the wall. Crashes just could not withstand it.
I like the idea there from Crashies. He was stuck in B main with only a pistol, and they made the best use of that. It's a damaging bonus round. It's gonna hurt the EG economy. And Ethan didn't commit that ultimate. What a fault line, though, to follow up and get those kills onto Marv and Demon 1. That's really what allows EG the round.
Yeah, calling to recall and refighting for that backside.
Perhaps Crashies could have turned the tide with a mosh. But that was not to be. And as I said, this economy not looking good here. They've got a Stinger, a Guardian, and a Judge on Superman. So this is going to be a scrappy round where NRG have got to root out these players with bad weaponry. I mean, Superman's just inside the smoke here. These kind of things can really catch you.
Maybe just gone for a bit of a bait and switch. Can't break the knife in time. It tags onto the 2 players. NRG's game plan so far has just been avoiding anywhere where they see that aggression.
And again, that's what they do. And I worry because it just gives the defense so much info. As soon as those B-main players don't get cleared.
They do end up taking mid-control. Now with the no command, it's ripping its way through onto the side. Apop being caught here as well, so we won't have that util to try and stop them in their tracks. Jomo going wandering into mid.
It's supposed to be a fake.
Broken traded, and yeah, the fake will be paying off. I mean, Ethan might have just done all the work for them anyway. Derek, forced out of position there, just from the wingman, and they're going to be calling for the rotation back over towards B. He's realized that he's got the side for his team nature. Openings and chances, but denied.
And this is one of those rounds where the mid-rounding from NRG looks sublime. If they can get more rounds like this on their attack side, they are going to be such a dangerous team. I love what they went for here. Yes, they navigate away from that danger in B main and give up that space, but they turn it into a fake, and Derek's left in a 1v4, which he shouldn't be able to do anything with, despite the kill onto Marv. Doesn't have any info about the rest of the players, and he's just trying to keep hold of his gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that Ethan goes for a fake, he kills the 2 players anyway, They go towards A and commit to the fake, but as soon as Wingman detects somebody in elbow, Crashies knows it's not worth the risk trying to cross there and take the fight into Derek, and instead they just go back to B. And these are really good on-the-fly calls based on the information that they have available to them.
Just tightening up the mistakes from Ascent. Well, as I say that... Okay.
I mean, that is going to actually be really significant damage.
Yeah, I mean, just cast the curse in a moment, I guess. Talk about NRG looking nice and disciplined.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the economy here of Crashies and I think it was Victor too, who'd bought fully down there.
One enemy remaining.
There's going to be a bit of a squeeze on their economy.
One enemy remaining. Ult is ready.
Taking a look at the practical impact, we've got a Guardian, and that's pretty much it. I think Victor's come into the round with only one trip.
Their fears.
But I mean, the economy is still getting squeezed on EG's side, so
yeah,
NRG are not suffering too much for those kills that Derek got.
Might be looking to put themselves in a position to use the ults, though. Be a good one to get around onto the board. Especially when it's a full investment on both sides.
Absolutely. This is an eco swing round if you've ever seen one.
Back to me.
Vitally important.
Think back to the way that EG were playing their defense on Ascent. They were dominating the extremities. They were fighting for A main and B main in a lot of the rounds. It feels similar again. EG on attack and defense have owned B main.
Nightfall is going to be expended and used. EG looking to see if they can do some damage with this one. A lot of trails and Teva's going to be connecting.
And again, NRG, instead of trying to re-clear mid, they try to find the weak spot over towards A. But the Cypher is here. The rotates are about to come here. This is not as weak as Ethan might feel.
No, it's really not. And even if Apop does get smoked off from this angle, he's going to have these trips onto the site to play off of. Just needs to not go down into the moment. Here has a case to play through and around. And there it is, kill trip in order. Haven't quite gained the site. Plan's going to be disrupted, I believe, from the aftershock. And anybody just seeking to claim that space and scale up deep, it's going to be denied the chances. Dizzy, forwards, Apop connecting, but a rocket from behind. It's all done and dusted. Marved. He dominates a smoke angle. But this is a hell of a round to overcome. 1v3, Spike dropped out into the open, only 15 seconds to do it. Again, you'd have to be the miracle maker, and he doesn't land the initial shot. Enough for EG to at least take the lead now into this map.
Just as I was praising NRG for having that round where they called beautiful mid-round audibles, that's another one of their classic macro fumbles, I think.
Yeah.
The Nightfall into mid and they think, right, well, if there's a bunch of players fighting mid, then A must be a little weak. But they're a little slow taking A. They haven't had anybody in an aggressive lurk that they can just run through. They still have to be diligent clearing their corners.
That's the trouble.
And by the time they get there, EG are already in position to go for the flood.
There is so much space to take on A if you're going to try and hard pivot like that. If you don't have somebody already in a forward position, lurking.
Yeah. And that's why I think NRG need to add more of these fast takes at the start of the round and insert players. What a shot from Marv to make this one winnable with Sheriffs.
Suddenly some danger here into the half by round. Push them back in the way. They've spotted that weak spot, Marv. Does TP forwards. Does he get a gun as well? That's what he was hoping for.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Still out into the open. Apop wants to try and defend this. Nade rebounds forwards here with the door opening wide. It's EG putting that squeeze on, so they do defend that weapon, but NRG have got themselves into the post plant with Demon 1's ult earned. They're going to roll in thunder this one, cutting them all the way up. Pushing into the smoke. Rocket unleashed, but a kill still found. Jorgamo is doing the most. Thrash defended, detained. And now it all lies on Derek. Holding the position on the ground once more. Again, you can see and hear that Spike is ticking away. But the option's just running out, running short and shy of the mark. Derek can't get the kill. Weaving backwards and forwards. Final moments will do it! The half-by conversion. Thrifty round for NRG. It took a lot. Don't get me wrong.
And
They'll bring them even.
It still came down to the spray control.
Yeah.
There was half already on the defuse. That could have still been possible. Great shot to open things up from Marv there. And they weren't able to follow up on the Rolling Thunder because Demon 1 immediately pops ult. Very heads-up play. Great raise ult there from Demon 1 to control that space. And even though Jorg gets 2, the Thrash follow-up from Crashies closes things. He's so good in those clutch spots.
The relief on the face of the NRG players. I mean, we are right into the swing of things. 5 seconds off the mark. NRG, though, Taking it slow and steady with just a little bit of that utility. Deep horns as well, spotting out Victor's position.
It's been such a back and forth game. The 7 rounds in a row from EG have been kind of bookended by dominance from NRG.
Shadows traveling.
They're trying to feel out whether EG have got a stack or some kind of mid-re-clear setup.
Superman, and he gets ahead of that one. It will be traded by Marved.
It's not too dangerous, but it does make it slightly more difficult for NRG to get the spike down now without Crashies alive and Wingman available. So maybe if EG get the read, they can set up for some kind of flood defense that would still work. I think if you're looking for a star player to turn up again for EG and make this one a thrifty, in return it's on Jorg. But this is a lovely ult from Marved, clearing out the back of the site and allowing the rest of his team to come in through the front.
Victor might be able to catch this timing, spotting it. Yeah, with the shots at least. Was that good adjustment from Jorgamo, running down the position. Victor is going to be this nuisance now that they have to clear out.
And the longer he stays alive,
look at this guy.
the easier it
It
becomes.
is so annoying.
EG doing a good job here, though, of pushing him back and committing forwards. Can they find a timing before Victor can be useful?
They might be playing this with enough pace. You're right. First wave of util though, send flying. If they didn't do it, the guns definitely would. Spamming all those angles. It's appropriate. NRG know exactly how they're going to be winning it.
Great navigation on the anti-eco to get NRG up to 10. Even rifles on both sides. Superman trying to take liberties.
Shot.
Yeah, and a really nice shot. But Marv was there to clean things up. You know, Marv and Victor, they were getting abused a little bit on Ascent. They were finding it difficult to just post up in B main, A main, and control space around the map. Here on Sunset, I think they're doing a much better job at that.
NRG, smokes drop down. Bit control forward fall. This is an aggressive play potentially by EG, but Aziz doesn't connect.
Yeah, again, look, Victor is playing this situation so passively, giving good info, but the paranoia is
Driving about to mid, that was Marv TPing past the trip.
Yeah, and look, NRG, again, trying to find the weak spots. They know that 3 players are fighting A, so they're trying to find the gaps, but the gaps aren't really there.
The flash not dodged. Team in one though, does have the satchel to just get the hell out of there. Nade pushing them back and away. Still plenty of time left into the round for NRG to work with.
Tried to get a reaction going here and tried to get a reaction going up through this way as well and got countered by a paranoia. And then Marv got caught in top mid.
Apoff. He's the one jiggling this corner into this angle. Just trying to spot it out, so he knows that NRG have crossed. One threshold over towards market.
Superman does not have his flash. He's in a much more vulnerable spot.
No cages as well to just try and help supplement it. Superman caught. Haven't cleared main though. Could be a blessing in disguise for him, especially when that ult pops off because all the heads have turned around. Distraction plays abound. And it all leads down to Victor. It's a spammable angle and position, but he needs to get lucky with a few more shots than that. Jorgamo chasing him down, running him down. And still, the back and forth, tenuous fashion this entire last 2 maps have ended in. I mean, it continues, Josh.
But again, these gaps don't exist. It feels like NRG are making plays that would destroy lower level teams. Because when lower level teams fight 3 players A main, they don't have a way of filling the gaps on the rest of the map. But EG do. EG have got utility that holds back those reactions elsewhere. They're still watching mid, they're still stopping you from taking market control. And so NRG's IGLing to go in other directions doesn't find those opportunities. Superman still trying to dominate B main with that. And the knife continues to tag. That's going to force more util out of NRG if they want to get positions in B main.
The series overall, I mean, really heating up.
Yeah, because Ethan has this ult online, you see the Cypher way back. Just allowing this trip to stay up if it is a B hit with the KO ult.
It's just that. I mean, EG also just holding util, ready for any play in for the top section of mid. Jorgamo, it's not Fango with the jiggle. Some danger there, obviously. I mean, to spam up the box and angle. Alt line repeat, Jorgamo. Okay, I mean, no command's going to be committed here by Ethan, but what's a call to be made? I mean, he's just letting this loose, but it's going to be fading away.
That's more of a panic ultimate because he was worried about a mid re-clear, I think. They can't really do much with that. I mean, they're not also catching onto Apoth, so these trips are still up. 40 seconds. I mean, they have A main control and B main control, but they don't really seem to know where to end.
No.
Victor's taking elbow space.
Sloppy.
People group up on B.
It's really sloppy.
Can Victor fake enough to make his presence
30 seconds
away from the
left.
hit worthwhile?
And Demon 1, he's the one who's just been encroaching on his position over towards A. It's all about the push and pull and the fake, but he's seen the rifle, the barrel, betrayal in motion.
Yeah, and I apologize. I was saying Victor. That's Demon 1, of course.
Yeah, spraying it. And praying with it. The blinds just immaculate. EG, of course, they're set up and they make it look easy in that fashion, but when NRG don't have clear structured game plans in terms of how they want to be ending,
Yeah.
and part one of the game plan on the attack side goes wrong. We've seen moments like on Ascent. There's been less of them on Sunset, don't get me wrong, but it rears its head once more.
There was only like 25, 30 seconds there when Demon 1 started to walk into A.
Spike down B.
I just think that they don't really have a cohesive idea of what they want to do. And the big red button.
Yeah, few and far between for EG now. This is their chance to hold on to that foothold, keep the lead going and extending it further. They missed their chances of closing out the series in a 2-0. At least on Lotus.
And they're mixing things up again. You know, both initiators shown over towards A. The Cypher util is really for information around mid and market.
No way you're going for another repeat, Jorgamo. Hoping, I believe, that he was going to be set up. And normally it's just one player playing there from NRG's side. Connection with the Dizzy. Derek postured away from the angle.
That's a nice opener for NRG. They're going to threaten that they're going top mid with that smoke, but when the trip doesn't get broken, it doesn't actually threaten anything. There's a trip and a cam for them to break here. They break the cam, but not the trip. And again, market is not particularly threatened.
That's a big That's huge! This is what they needed. I said it would take a miracle. Thrifty wins, which, listen, NRG being able to grab him, but he's opening kills. Flexing on him with the mechanical ability.
NRG are trying to keep it cautious at this spot, making sure that they don't get caught by Derek or Nature. These two initiators, they saw them at the start of the round over towards A.
30 seconds left.
Mark's spotting them both in mid now.
All closing their face. Fault line stunned, avoided. Now with a paranoia as well. Oh no. Be any sort of follow-up. Nice little pre-fire onto the corner. They do take up market control, but they've got a lot to clear if they want to really make a go of things.
And only a single seize for EG expended to try to clear out somebody aggressive.
There's one spot. Nade to stop them from pushing up close. And onto the spike just in case they get on top of it. Mosh pit as well for the next layer and level to the game plan. NRG. They can't be dislodged from this position right now, and EG have realized it.
What a round. What a round.
Disgusting work from the players to just find those picks. And Demon 1, he will not be denied, except in the face of all that util, maybe, just so.
Speaking about Demon 1, he doesn't play the conventional Raze. You know, he doesn't have years of experience on it. Yes, some of the movement still looks clunky. He's still learning how to operate within it. But insert him into these spots where he can take his wands, and it looks like he's on EG last year.
Yeah.
Where he's, you know, when people just contact re-clear into him, he's dominating them in fights. He's got a Guardian there.
Enemy
And to be
down.
honest, they didn't even have to re-clear that area because there was still a trip up. Demon 1 hadn't broken the trip in market.
The panic button was hit on the other side of NRG just to try and see if they could find some way to...
Just putting them in fairly standard positions.
There.
These kind of kill trip setups were finding Demon 1 if NRG was ending A, but they haven't ended A in a while.
There's real chances here for NRG. I mean, the pendulum just swinging, oscillating wildly in the other direction now because NRG with these ults might be able to do some damage. A round win to put them up to 12.
This might be a read on the fact that Victor is trying to put his cam into deep positions. This time, though, he's used it for a little bit of mid information. Usually, he's been popping it on this wall.
Oh yeah! Monster on the move!
Crash forwards. Along with that, the rocket sent flying away! What is that? It's a season to the aftershock combination! And a foul one at that!
Oh, Potter's pulled deep into the playbook for that one coming out of the tack timeout.
Ludicrous stuff, man. I mean, EG conditioning like they're fighting aggressively for most of the time. Marv, it's going to make the adjustment. He's got the spike into his hands, but he's got to deal with Ape with the reload. To bait and switch pulling out the util. Spike now being planted. One chance, one opportunity. Running away. There's a mockery at around in this situation. There's no way he's going to be able to rotate all the way. 40 seconds. He has the time for a bit of bait and switch. Forwards again with a TP. Might just be overcooking it. Smelling a bit burnt. And with a kill collected, EG get up to 12.
Another match point for Evil Geniuses. What a timeout from Potter.
Yeah, to call that after all the EG conditioning, it slows them down. It forces NRG to use ults to clear out B main, and they come through with that Seize aftershock.
Demon One even got pushed back into the aftershock by his own recoil from the showstopper he threw out. I don't know how he didn't get a kill from the showstopper. Superman somehow managing to dodge that one. What a play exactly when they needed it. And again, I think that might have been to try to punish Victor, but they got even more than they could have bargained for.
It comes down to this. Overtime again, or a chance for EG to lock this one up in a 2-1 fashion. Fast for Ethan. This time disrespecting that smoke. A little bit earlier. Don't hold on to the space though, just waiting for it to clear and fade out. What is the call to be made when the weaponry is this poor? It's NRG that are having to dig deep.
Yeah, but it's Apoth who's taking the risk. There really isn't a need to go for this kind of risk. But EG have shown that they're, well, willing to go for it.
Team 1's clearing it. No, it's a half clearance. Neuro Fifth now with the phone line off his contact. It's supportive util to make sure that he can try and stay alive. The shots are missing. Entirely going wide. And EG can sense it. It's the precipice. At the fingertips, the tip of the tongue, whatever you want to call it. Hunting out these players and these kills.
Ethan's taken a lot of space, but he's got almost no health to work with. I don't see how NRG are pushing this across the line.
And there's such good awareness. Strogum already sending the boombot forwards just to clear out that space. Ethan, he has to group up and double up. The player disadvantage, a health disadvantage, a gun disadvantage. NRG on the verge of losing this one, and EG, they know it. Time to strike is now. Seize, pushes them back and away. Ethan, eager to take this fight. Jorgamo's alone, and he's found it. And now is the time to be cool, calm, and collected. EG, bring it to one. Bombs, the Iceman cannot get it done.